Ah, hello everybody. Hello, it's me, it's Andy Decade Andy here. We got Orange, pre-Moonbase 2. Hey Orange, how's it going?
Hey, it's doing good. Yeah.
You're all ready for Halloween? As it's nearly the month of Halloween. Nearly.
I completely forgot about that. I'll need to get a costume, don't I?
You're an American person. How hard do you go for Halloween out of interest? Because I know in the UK, Halloween's not really a big deal. We don't really give too much of a shit about it. In America, it's way more of a thing that people do. So how hard do you go for Halloween?
I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I don't. I just said that about a costume just to say something positive about. I'm not gonna dress up. I don't care.
You're not going to offend me. I'm not a Halloween. Halloween in this country is like thuggy kids coming around saying you got any candy, mate, without a costume on. And you're like, get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. It's way more of an American thing.
I
wondered if you were I wondered if you were in like a suburb and you had like all the little like 4-year-old kids going around saying, "Mr. Orange, can I have some Twick or Tweetings, please?"
Yeah, I'm not gonna appear friendly to the holiday or anything. I'm not gonna appear scary or anything. I'm not going to be inviting. I'm just going to my little place is going to be as nice and as far from scary as possible, just to scare away all of the kids. I don't want any knocks at the door or anything.
Do you have a porch? You should just sit on the porch, like rocking back and forth with a shotgun in your hand. You better move along there, kids. Don't want your cat around here.
No, shotgun would be too scary. I'd get like one of those colorful super soakers or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
suppose very, very not Halloween. I mean, shotguns would be legitimately. Oh, that's a costume. No.
Don't know. Well, it depends where you live, I suppose. Like some places, it might just be like, oh, it's just southwestern Orange. It's just he's got his shotgun now again because that's just how it is.
True. Yeah,
it depends on the state. But I like everyone the idea of having a water pistol.
Southwest, yeah, everyone in the Southwest, gets a free gun when they turn 18.
I thought it was like gun or banjo. I wasn't entirely sure. Does the banjo depend on the state again?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Banjo, Tennessee. Yeah. What is the banjo? What state is more synonymous with the banjo? Because it's what like Louisiana, like New Orleans, Tennessee. Those might be cities. I don't know. I don't know America.
New Orleans is, yeah.
Okay.
But something like that, yeah.
Do you know if you could place down and be like, yeah, this is banjo country? What would be your banjo country be?
I don't pay attention to banjo. I
love the discussion. I don't pay attention to fucking banjo.
You know what? Tennessee, why not?
Why not? Yeah, okay. All right, we should probably get cracking with the moon pooping. Where's my dingleberry music? Yeah, there it is. Okay. Everything should be working. Can you say something again, Orange, just to make sure you're working?
Something again, Orange?
Yeah, okay, you are working. I panicked for a second and wondered if you were actually coming through the Discord. You are. That's the main thing. Okay, let's play some music.
Welcome to Moonbase 2.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Moonbase 2 podcast. My name is Andy Decade Andy. We're here with Mr. Orange, and we are going to talk about Transformers RID. No, not that one. The one from 2001. Actually, I don't know why I said that. Orange, in your head, welcome, by the way. In your head, when you say Transformers Robots in Disguise, what do you think of? Do you think of the 2001 show, the 2015 show, or the comic book? Or the slogan.
I never think of the comic book. When someone says RID, I do think of this one, the 2001.
Yeah. At any point in your mind, do you think of the 2015 show, or do you almost kind of forget about that show?
I don't forget about it, but I do need reminded of it, unless I'm thinking unless I'm specifically thinking, there are different iterations of names in Transformers. What do you think of Cyberverse? Of course, I think of the
yes.
cartoon first, but there was the little toy line when it. What was it?
The movie,
2012,
wasn't it? Dark of the Moon?
Dark of the Moon and Prime, I think.
I think you're right,
Because
yeah.
Prime had a Cyberverse line too.
Ah, yeah, that's right.
Speaking of Cyberverse, the commanders, there was a commander class in Cyberverse, and now there's in my opinion, better commander class out now. So.
Oh, I mean, the commander class from the Cyberverse line were just like little bit bigger, slightly more complex Cyberverse figures. The commanders of today are way better, way better. Also, a lot more expensive. Yeah. To be fair.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
But we're here today to talk about the toy line of 2001, in between stage between Beast Machines and the Unicron trilogy. This weird little line that slapped a load of a couple of new figures in here, but mostly a load of repaints from many other lines together, with lots of repaints in between. What memories do you have of this line? Did you have positive memories or
very positive? This line is what got me positive about Transformers again. I mean, I liked some Beast Wars. Don't get me wrong. Like I told you before, Transmetals was my favorite there. But this line was like bringing back what I loved about Transformers, like just the aesthetic and the whole, car Transformers, right? And all that, even though there was like Machine Wars, which was just a little tiny, well, it was like Beast Wars styled car formers, right? Which
that came out before this, but after Beast Machines, right? Or did it come alongside Beast Machines?
No, before Beast Machine, because it was like they had some Beast Wars 2 molds, or Beast Wars 2 molds was based on those. I don't know which. I don't know.
I think the Japanese thing had came out first, but I'm not entirely sure, to be honest.
Okay, but yeah, those were pretty cool. But this and my biggest memory was, and this is a fun fact, some of these toys are responsible for about 60 or 70% of my scale obsession, which you can blame it on mainly like the build team, because they had like varying sizes. The leader was like a little short guy, 2 of them were like average size, and there was a big guy.
See, I thought this line would probably make you angry, because like Bruticus or Baldicus, or whatever his name is in this, of Ruination, I suppose, is completely out of scale with how he should be. Because obviously he's based on a G1 toy.
It didn't bother me at the time because everything was out of scale anyway, right? But there was some bits and pieces that made me really like it. Like the build team was satisfying in that they were in scale with each other, and it gave me in the back of my mind, I was wishing that there was like a G1 line that was in scale. And I mean, that started to happen like in 2019 with Siege, but back then it was just a dream that'll never happen. Right.
That's true.
And like, that's why the combiners in this series didn't bother me, because it was just par for the course back then.
Interesting. Well, I suppose we should get on to it, because there's a lot to get through. The first load of, technically repaints, and I think the first one we're talking about here is a new one, oddly enough. But the spy changes, which were based on the G2 spy changes and then mostly recolored. This first one is Daytonus, who I don't remember at all. I don't think he was in the show, and it doesn't seem like he was based off of a previous G2 mold, unless I'm incorrect.
I think it was based on the G2 mold that wasn't released.
Ah, okay. Oh, that's interesting. I wouldn't say it's desperately great. Like I would imagine you like this orange because it is orange and black, but it's almost got a go-botty look to it. Maybe it's just too much orange. I don't know. Maybe it's the shape of where they've placed the black on it. It just didn't do a huge amount for me,
A GoBot look like the original GoBots and not like the G2 GoBots, right?
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
yeah. I think it's the head, like the white generic head on him. Yeah.
Probably, and then just the way that the pattern's done on him. Some of these came in 2-packs. Some of these came in packs on their own, but with a metal tin. I can't remember. I think you could just get them individually as well, but I can't remember. There's a lot of versions of these. We've got Rev, which is Race Evolution Vehicle or Race Exertion Vehicle. Who is a repaint of Killer Eagle? No, that is a previous one. Firecracker. That's who he's based off. Oh yeah, Firecracker. Yeah. He was just red. This is a big improvement over that one, I would say. I really like his the extra decals they've put on him, the little Firebird on his Tumbly Wumbly, and the weird gradient effect on the back as well. And they've added like panel lining as well, the orange panel lining. I think this is way better than the one we just looked at. Way better.
Yeah, this is the only thing I have in mind for this guy is how much I want a modern one like Siege Sideswipe repaint or something.
No, not
right?
Another one. Can we not have a new mold? Please.
I want all of them in the same mold. I gotta have. I mean, like maybe the Kingdom version of the mold, but like something like that, because it's just this guy would be a perfect for that mold, in my opinion. But
I think my issue is we've had that mold so many times, with minor retooling to it as well. But we just need a break from it. It's like classic Starscream. It's not that bad, but we're getting there.
Yeah, I think why I am okay with it is because I want all of the appropriate figures to share the same mold as like just to represent like how they've been in the past. Like this guy has shared a mold with Sideswipe. Granted, it's like G2 Sideswipe, and it was the second Sideswipe that was released. The blue one, the little tiny blue one. Do you remember he was a GoBot, not that GoBot, the G2 GoBots, and not the G2 GoBots, which was the character. Yeah.
Is it? Oh yeah. It's on the list here. If you scroll down, it's 1995. GoBot Sideswipe. He's blue and yellow. And like you say, he's still just this mold. Got this weird, speckled pattern on his. Oh no, it's just kind of sparkly metallic kind of look to his paint. Yeah, it looks like a Hot Wheels car. Okay, yeah, I see it.
What I'm saying is I like consistency, and after we get every single character like that in a mold, then we can move on. Sure, why not?
Well, I mean, this guy had quite a lot of dues just between 2000 and 2003. There was Killer Eagle. There was the translucent Jusco version of Killer Eagle. There was Rev, which is the American version, which was 2001. There was the KB Toys Clear Rev, which is different from the Japanese Eagle Killer Clear figure. There's also Super Killer Eagle, which was American colored. There was clear. Oh no, that was Japanese as well, I'm guessing, because it's Eagle Killer. There's a clear version of that, which is white or translucent white. And then there's another KB Toys Recolor Clear Rev version, which is, you might think it was the same as the previous one, but it's a little different because it's got translucent blue on it as well, rather than just being translucent orange. So there's only, it doesn't seem like there's any real difference between the Japanese Killer Eagle and the Rev figures. But out of here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's still 6 versions of this this character using this mold in the space of like 3 years. It's kind of crazy. Mm-hmm. What do you think of these different looks to Rev or Killer Eagle? I'm not too fussed with the super one, the blue one. I don't think it looks as nice, to be honest. It's okay. I think maybe the highlight kind of panel lining colors, if they were bright yellow on the blue, it'd probably help it pop a little bit more than the orange. What do you think?
I honestly don't like most figures that are translucent. So
yeah, I would agree.
What, like 4 of these figures are automatically out for me. Is the blue one? No, he's just sparkly. Sparkly. I kind of dig him.
He does, like I say, he doesn't pop for me as much as the standard version of him.
No, I do like the standard version a lot better. I agree there, but yeah, the blue one looks nice to me. The translucent thing is why I didn't like Firecracker as much as GoBot's Optimus Prime, which it's not an Optimus Prime for me, but he
Oh.
does look a lot better. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
he's
I've
like
just scrolled down. I'm
solid
looking at
red.
Firecracker. It's like I mean, the difference between him and the quote unquote GoBots Optimus Prime is the heads being colored blue.
Yeah.
And then he's not translucent plastic. So it's like, well, that's better. Unless you go for the Takara one, which has a big old tampograph on his tummy, which makes him, again, look better than the previous one.
Yeah, agreed. My favorite version of this mold, though, is that side swipe, that blue one.
What makes you like that one the most, out of interest?
Just the obnoxious bright colors. I mean the blue is all sparkly and the yellow is bright, and he actually looks like Sideswipe, because this is like the standard like kibble placement on Sideswipe, except he's like a unique color. In my opinion, a lot better than the black Sideswipe.
Oh,
He's like, this guy is the G2 Sideswipe in my opinion. Yeah, like he's my main G2 Sideswipe. So yeah. Rev is cool though. Rev, I dig. He was not my favorite spy changer, but he's a satisfying color scheme. Yeah.
I place him up there as one of my, like, visually one of my personal favorites, I think. We've got Ironhide next, who is not red. He is cow-colored. And he is a pickup truck. He's based off of, who's he based off of? Motor Mouth or GoBot's Ironhide from G2. Again, from these guys. So he's had a couple of versions. There is the Car Robots Ox. There's a green translucent version from Japan. There's standard Ironhide from America. There's a KB Toys translucent version of that. There's Super Ox. There's a translucent version of Super Ox. And then there's another. KB Toys really went in with the translucent ones. But the second translucent one, which came out a year later, is completely different colored. It doesn't look like any of the other ones. So I'm guessing we could take out the translucent ones out of the equation, right?
Yeah. So Ironhide was a pickup before the movies. Isn't that wild?
What do you mean? It was sorry, a pickup truck. Yeah. It's weird. What do you think of the cow colors?
I never liked them.
Really?
They were they were ridiculous to me. I mean,
that's why I like him. It's very Texan, and he's meant to be Texan.
True, but it's Texas, right?
Yeah. Excel Hedge says Ironhide of Moo Mesa. Hell yeah.
Oh, you know what? That's okay. Yeah.
Is that all that had to be said? Moo Mesa, and you're like, oh, okay.
I never saw Moo Mesa, but it does look. It looks like a really cool cartoon.
I never watched it, but I do remember the intro. I think I've watched maybe one episode, and I was like, it didn't do much for me. I remember the intro a lot. So it's a weird show. Super Ironhide. I don't like it as much. They've inverted the spot color, so it's mainly black but with white spots. Do you like Super Ironhide more or less?
I like it more. Yeah,
more. Okay.
Nice.
So is it just the inversion of the colors that you like? You like it primarily black with the white spots?
I think so. I think if the green one wasn't so translucent, I'd like that best. Like if it was opaque, it would look really nice.
Yeah,
I think
he does look like a gummy toy. It's interesting that they chose like translucent green. There's translucent yellow for the head and the legs, and then translucent orange for for the joints and for the front of the legs, and then translucent blue for like one of the pin covers as well. Which is a weird mix of all these different translucent plastics.
Yeah, weird.
Very odd. But obviously they transform the same way as they all do. And oddly enough, this mold didn't get a lot of uses in G2. Only as Motor Mouth and there's Ironhide. Do you prefer those ones, Orange, or do you think because I like I say, I like Ox, I like Ironhide from RID. Ironhide in G2 is just silver. He does have pink legs. He does have pink legs and a blue head, which is kind of cute, but
he looks gold to me. Is he silver?
I think so. Yeah, if you click on the
he is.
truck,
Yes,
it's
yes.
the lighting. The lighting's
I
kind of
remember that. I remember that. I remember really liking his color scheme, and the silver and pink I remember went really well together somehow. I mean, it doesn't sound like a really good color combination, but in my opinion, it looks really good. The blue head and all, yeah.
Not only a blue head, but a blue head with like a yellow face as well, it looks like. Is that right? It's hard to tell.
That is right, yeah.
Yeah, so they painted that yellow, so they added just a little of extra paint just to make it pop, which is kind of nice. It's all right.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite version of the mold.
Motormouth is what if blue truck, and then for some reason his legs are translucent. Is his red translucent? I think his thighs and head might actually be translucent as well.
Yeah, looks like a tasty little candy head there. Yeah.
Yeah, and yet the most part, his body is opaque, like sparkly blue, and yet the front of his joint is also translucent as well for the front of his hood. What weird mix of plastics?
I do not like the translucent joints there. Ugh.
No, but there's no need. Why is that translucent? I don't get it. It's so weird.
You got me molding, I guess, whatever was on the translucent mold, I guess.
Yeah. So I would say Ironhide G2 or Ironhide RID. You would probably just go more so for Ironhide GoBot 2 version, right?
G2, yeah. That or the green one if it was opaque, but it looks kind of wonky as it is. So yeah, just the silver one.
Next up we have Mirage. There's a couple of versions. Was he on? No, he's been double clutch. He's been G2 GoBots Mirage. He's been Car Robots Counter Arrow. Interesting. There's also the Just Co translucent Counter Arrow. There's Mirage from RID, the one we know. There's the translucent version, KB Toys version, of course. There's the Super Counter Arrow, which is the red version. There's the Clear Counter Arrow, which is all of the second versions of the Japanese recolors all seem to be done in translucent, just flat translucent, like clear plastic, rather than having much color to them. Just kind of lame. And the last KB Toys version is a green version. So again, KB Toys getting the most out of their translucent buck. Ironhide, sorry, not Ironhide. Mirage, I don't love him that much. I'll be honest, he's a bit too white in his robot mode, I feel. Orange?
Yeah. That's another color scheme that I really don't like. I think that the Just Co color scheme would work if it was opaque. And my favorite version of this character would be the Super Counter Arrow, the red one. It kind of gives me like G1 Protectobot vibes.
Oh, because he's so red and he's white as well.
Yeah, like he's like Blade's color scheme, right? Like. Yeah, my favorite version of the mold in general would be GoBots Mirage, which was black with gold stripes, kind of like G2 Drag Strip, except yeah, he was that color, except like with the red outline on his chest.
Yeah, his F1 car mode's really good. It's black with like a bumblebee bottom. It's got like a wasp's ass. With the yellow stripes. It looks really nice. I'm kind of sad the yellow isn't on more of the robot mode, because the yellow is just kind of contained to his vehicle mode, and none of the front of the robot. I kind of wish some of that was like maybe on the inside of the hands or something. We just needed some of that transfer of color, I feel. Because I really like the F1 car's great. It's really good.
Yeah.
Like you say, it's the best version, easily.
Yeah, and it's a shame that this color scheme wouldn't transfer that well to the modern Mirage mold because that yellow would like end up on his chest or something.
Yeah, that mold's a little bit weird. We're talking about the Earthrise one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a weird way it transforms.
Kingdom? Yeah.
Kingdom?
Yeah, the Earth one. Yeah.
Whichever the one they use for the G2 version, that's the one I know. Mirage, he's a thing. Obviously, there's not a lot for me and Orange to talk about with the spy changes because they don't do a lot.
They're little guys.
Yeah, they're little guys. What are you going to do? Crosswise
they come with an accessory somehow.
Yeah, they come with a gun, which they can hold and lose. And most of the time you find them without their guns. Because, obviously. Crosswise is, unfortunately, nearly all the time translucent. All iterations of them, apart from the original versions. So, there's High Beam. There is G2 GoBots Bumblebee, which looks nothing like Bumblebee, which is interesting. There's BotCon Night Racer, which I think we might agree is maybe the best one. I guess we'll get to it. There's the X-Car, which is the Japanese version. There's the Clear Justco X-Car. There is Crosswise. There's, of course, KB Crosswise. Super X-Car. Clear Super X-Car, which is, again, just translucent clear plastic, which is lame, and then the KB Toys clear version, which is red. So, yeah, which Crosswise X car would you like to talk about first, Orange?
Well, I do have to say that out of all the translucent GoBots and Spy Changers, I'd say this guy's my favorite.
What makes him your favorite? What makes this one better than the other translucent ones?
I think it's the like green painted underneath. It looks really nice, like the see-through. It's like plain white, like translucence, and then like underneath you got the really, really like metallic looking. I think that's what makes it look nice to me.
Yeah, it feels like there's layers to it. Like you say, there's the translucent, just clear plastic over the top of... I assume it's over the top. I'm not sure if it's like the bluey kind of mouthwash color is underneath a clear plastic, or whether some of the clear plastic is that. There's definitely silver paint detail underneath that for the engine block and stuff, which makes it look quite nice. It's just weird that there's no hard version. The Super X car version is what if he were green and yellow with kind of the gold detail. Looks okay. Looks fine. Looks a bit like something you'd see in the 3D Johnny Quest cartoon that came out in the 90s. The KB Toys version, like I mentioned, is but what if red, and he is red. Is your favorite version Bumblebee, High Beam, or Night Racer out of interest? Because I'm sure it has to be one of those ones, Orange, right?
Yeah, I would say Night Racer, to be honest. Yeah.
Of course it is. He looks really cool. He does just have a sticker insignia on his front, which is a bit of a bummer. But it's black with yellowy, greeny color, and then some blue stripes along the side of the doors. It looks really Swifty, I think.
I do want to see some really good representation and readily available figure of Night Racer, because she was a BotCon exclusive and she only had like a recolor of, I think, which one was it? Tailgate back in 2013, I want to say.
Which Tailgate was that?
Maybe the one based on the comic one.
Oh, the one that came with the like the little tractor thing. Yeah. Okay.
And I think she was an exclusive back then too. So, but I do want to give props to High Beam and G2 Bumblebee here, because they look really nice as well. Just not as good, but there's something about them that I really like. I think it's just they're shiny in all the right places, and like the dark legs and arms don't actually. I don't think they detract from the overall look to them. They don't look. It doesn't make them look plain. It just breaks everything up and sort of like balances the color scheme out.
I will say with all of the G2 ones, they all seem to be having this metallic-y kind of paint, which makes them look like Hot Wheels cars, which I think is what the market that we're trying to bump into for this line at least, which is like, okay. I find them a little bit, some of them a little bit boring, and I think it's because they have gone down that trying to make them look like proper cars, so they have a cohesive scheme, and they haven't gone too crazy with a lot of the G2 versions, I feel.
Yeah. I think this this Spy Changer though is my favorite of the 6. I'd say.
What makes it your favorite?
I'm not sure. It was just I guess it's the mold combined with how the translucent plastic was handled.
Oh, for you meant for crosswise.
Crosswise, yeah.
Okay.
Of the 6 Spy Changers, yeah.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, because if anybody didn't know who's listening to the show, these all transform the exact same way. You pull the legs down, you pop the arms out, and then you flip the chest down, and that's how all of the Spy Changes work. All of them.
You forgot stand them up.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, you do stand them up. Excuse me. Big D says, I have to say, though, I'd forgotten that these were a thing in RID. And for all the flaws, you guys are right, pointing out they look like being fun. Kind of regarding regretting passing on them back in the day. Yeah, they can be kind of more expensive than you'd think they should be these days, which is kind of weird. I get the translucent ones because they probably might explode. But even the G2 versions can be a little bit difficult to get as well, oddly enough. And just don't bother with the guns. Just accept that you're probably not going to get them with the guns, unfortunately.
I think they do need to be reissued in some capacity. I think that I don't think they should make... I don't think they should... if they have new molds, I don't think they should go with like... small Hot Wheels size, just articulated. I think either they need to reissue these or just create like deluxe molds of them.
To be fair, what were their scale in the show? Were they the same size as like Sideswipe or Sideburn, X-Brawn? Or were they smaller than them?
Yeah, they were the same size, yeah.
Yeah, so they should... I mean, there's no reason why you couldn't just like... with like crosswise, do him first and make him a pre-tool of something else, because I'm sure there's another car that looks like crossways or crosswise. I know you want to retire the Sideswipe mold, I do think they need to have the same engineering. Yeah, I can see what you're saying. Yeah, I think the problem is like, can you imagine like what's it like? No, you wouldn't get 6 because you couldn't do Ironhide like that. Unless you
why not?
intensively retool the Sideswipe mold to make it a pickup truck. That would be interesting.
I mean,
I'd be down with that.
like DevCon level retooling, right? Like Legacy DevCon, or like which one was it?
DevCon meant to be out of? Or turned into?
Studio Series 86 Blur.
Oh, yeah, of course, yes.
Like he was completely reshelled. He looks like an entirely different figure, but he does share some parts. And I think, and there's the upcoming what was it, Ruckus from Beachcomber. Like he only shares like thighs and like maybe hands and wheels from Beachcomber, and like the rest of the parts are new. Like that level of retooling, except they transform the same way, et cetera, right?
Yeah.
I think that could work with bots like Ironhide,
It'd be good to sell them as like a 5-pack as well. I don't know if they wouldn't be willing to do that, because I don't know how well the Generation Select, Autobot pack did. But if you could sell them like that, I think that'd probably be the best, and you could just get them all in one blob,
I think it wouldn't hurt to sell a couple of them at normal retail, and maybe the most popular ones, right? Like the leader, and like
who was the leader? Was there a leader of the Spy Changes?
I think it was. Oh, was there? Maybe it was Crosswise.
It's been a while since I've watched it, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. I do not remember.
No.
There are several ways of handling them. Anyway, go on.
XL Hedge says, movie Ironhide was with Spy Changer colors. Did that happen? I don't think that happened, but it'd be interesting to see. I know DairyCon, is it DairyCon? I think was inspired by RID Ironhide because they've made so many cow-inspired themed Transformer color schemes, which, you know, that's only a good thing, at least in my books.
Studio Series Ironhide would look amazing in
that
RID
too.
colors.
Yeah, he just said movie Ironhide, but Studio Series would also be nice as well. But I'd want him to like have a remolded head, which you wouldn't be able to do because I'd like him to have a cowboy hat. You know, if he's going to be cow themed, he needs a cow hat.
Oh, true, he does. Yeah.
Maybe you could make that an accessory. I don't know. That'd be fun. Next up, we have Hotshot, who was made out of Blowout. It was also Megatron. These are G2 GoBot versions. There was also a Takara G2 Megatron, which has a tampograph on his top. This was also used for GoBot's G2 Frenzy. And then we had Artfire, the clear version of the Just Co. clear version of Artfire. Hotshot, as he was named in America. KB Toys version of the clear version of Hotshot. Then there was Super Artfire, who is white. The clear version, which is translucent, just clear plastic. And then the KB Toys, which is probably the best out of the the KB Toys one finally got an interesting color scheme, at least translucent color wise. So Orange, Hotshot. How do we feel?
The original
about
Hotshot,
the original one, OG Hotshot.
Yeah, before Armada. Yeah, this I think he's interesting just for that. But he was my second favorite. I would say he was. The mold was nice. Just the color scheme. I really liked how. Yeah, he had the flames, but it was like it was like super simple and it wasn't as obnoxious as some cars with flames on them are. I think it works.
I'm a big fan. You know, I was boy like car with fire on, fire good. I thought it looked cool. It looked neat. One negative, obviously, is his thighs, slidey joints are translucent plastic for no particularly good reason, I suppose. I assume his head is translucent as well with paint on it, but I am making an assumption there. How do we feel about the other versions of him, Orange? What do you think about all of do you like Megatron? Do you like Blowout? Which is a weird
Blowout
name.
was
Frenzy?
horrible.
What was wrong with Blowout? Oh no, never mind. I see.
Yeah. I mean,
he's a good example of crosswise done wrong, right?
Yeah. What's the word? He is a you know those like anatomically correct statue, like Visible Man, right? That's what he looks like, except he's a visible Cybertronian.
Yeah, where you can see all the organs in the human, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's hard to look at. He's really hard to. But Megatron, G2 GoBot Megatron, he looks pretty nice.
I'd say for me, he's a little bit boring. He's just silver, blue, and black. He's very much a background character. I think the car mode works because, you know, silver on cars generally looks quite nice. But it's a little boring robot dude. I think Frenzy pulls it off better being a sparkly pink car. And thus obviously having a big old sparkly pink chest. I think
that's an interesting color.
Yeah,
for Frenzy, like some sort of, what is it, that orchid, or I have no idea. Some
it's lipstick's pink color, right? It's a color that a lady would use for lipstick because it's got that sparkliness to it as well.
Yeah, true.
It's not bright red.
I think it works.
I think that one's all right. But I think for me, my favorite is Artfire Hotshot because, like I say, fire is good. Would you agree that the last KB Toys recolor is translucent recolor is the best out of them? Because I'll stick with that. It's clear translucent, but then you've got the fire on it to make it pop a bit more, so it's not just completely translucent. I like it. I think it works better than the other translucent ones, at least for Hotshot.
I'm not a fan of the translucent ones, but of them, I think that is the best. And I think it is of note that I'm pretty sure standard Hotshot. Wait, no, he isn't. He isn't clear plastic.
The standard one isn't, but KB Toys did a translucent version of that one for some reason.
I thought he was like translucent, but like super hard to tell. But yeah, you're right. He's not.
No, the KB Toys one is. The only thing that's translucent on the standard one are the thighs. For, like I said before, no real good reason, seemingly.
Yeah. Oh, he's nice though.
Any thought on Artfire? The Super Artfire, the white one with the gold face?
I do dig it. Yeah, the gold face looks nice.
Maybe it's just blue flame. Just doesn't really do it for me. Also, interestingly enough, translucent green thighs now. So can't escape the translucent thighs. I don't mind the whiteness. I just don't love the kind of, because it's not just like solid blue either. It's kind of I guess they're trying to still make it look flamey with bits of yellow in there, so it looks a bit strange, I think, for me, at least in the photos we've got here.
I think the green would look nice if it was opaque, sort of colored like I'm not sure how to describe it, like the minty like green that like what was Ghostbusters toys, that color, like the really light like minty green. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh
like,
yeah, don't get me wrong. I don't begrudge the green. I begrudge the translucentness of the thighs. I think if there was solid opaque green, I'd be okay with that.
Okay, yeah.
I don't want to see through my men's legs, I suppose is what I'll say. How about that?
He does look good. The visor being translucent, that translucent green, that helps the look a lot. Yeah,
that's classic Predator translucent green for the visor as well, which is quite nice. That's the best kind of translucent plastic, it seems. So there's another one. We've also I think that's all of the spy changes now. That's all of them.
We skipped Wars, didn't we?
Oh shit, we did skip Wars. Let me bring up Wars. Yeah, Wars. What is he good for? Joke.
Spy Changer. No, GoBot Soundwave, I think.
This might be this is the one I have. I got him at a TF Nation randomly, and I really like how stupid his color scheme is. So, who is he made out of? He's made out of Gearhead originally, who oddly enough looks like Rev, which we talked about earlier, which is bizarre. He's also G2 GoBot Soundwave. He is the Japanese Soundwave, which has slightly worse colors. He is Carl Robots Wars. There's the Just Code Clear version of him. There's also Wars, but it's different because it's spelled W.A.R.S. instead of just Wars as in a normal human word. There's also the KB translucent version. There's Super Wars, which are the ones that we'll get in the not too distant future, I'm sure. Then there's Clear Super Wars, and then there's the KB other version of Wars. I love the standard version, but I also like the Ironhide one. Sorry, not Ironhide, the Soundwave one quite a bit as well. I love his Japanese tampograph on the hood of his car, and red and yellow. Can't say no to that. What do you think, Orange?
I really like the GoBot Soundwave, the American version. That one's my favorite, and I can't help but get on my mind the idea of a deluxe G2 GoBot Soundwave with a tape chest sort of deal. Like a deluxe car with a tape chest. I think that's such a neat idea. I mean, of course, Soundwave doesn't always have to have a tape chest. I know, but I think that would be neat.
No, I would agree. I really like this Soundwave. He is the sickly yellow color that you kind of got in the 90s. For me, I would equate him to, this won't mean anything to American people, but a Monsters in My Pocket kind of yellow is how I kind of look at him. He's actually got the tampons on. Did you?
We had those, yeah.
Did you? I thought that was only a British thing. Oh, okay. Well, go. Yeah, that's good. Monsters in My Pocket. Good thing. What do you think of just like standard Wars then? As in the toy, not the concept?
I hated him.
Oh, you didn't like it? Why not?
It
says Wars on him.
Yeah, it does. That should affect my opinion, shouldn't it?
It's got like a roll cage effect on like the windows so they don't explode.
Super Wars looks really nice, but I didn't have Super Wars. He has a lime flavored gun, it looks like.
Where's Super Wars? Oh, for Super Wars. Oh, he does. Oh, yeah, it's that lovely translucent plastic. Super Wars isn't too bad. I tell you why I don't like as much about Super Wars. It's Wars. The Wars on the side of his door, because it's using the gray plastic to be the words, while the blue is kind of making the the line around the word. I don't know how to describe it, but I don't think it makes the wars symbol pop as much. Yeah, and the red on the chest, it's an interesting look. But I think I prefer my wars normal.
I just pictured him just getting another bot to put one of those little stencils on the side of his alt mode and just spray paint around it while he's just going, hell yeah.
Well, here's a story. If he was in the G.I. Joe versus Transformers Bizarre comic by Tom Scioli, do you know how he would get the insignia on his chest? He would totally kill a G.I. Joe and like smear his bloody corpse onto his chest because it's all red. And that's how that Bizarre comic worked. Did you ever read that?
That would be metal. No, I didn't. Did I even know about it? That sounds pretty good.
It was not good. There's a part where
really?
Megatron eats one of the G.I. Joe after putting them in between bread like a sandwich.
Uh-huh.
It's have a look. You can either have a look during the show as we're going through, but Tom Scioli, Transformers versus G.I. Joe from IDW or something to that effect. It was bizarre.
There's metal, which you described earlier, and then there's cringe. Which was that? The G.I. Joe sandwich thing. That's
not even metal. That's just bizarre.
That's
what I
mean. That's pretty cringe.
Yeah, it's people told me it was a really good comic, and this is why I told you earlier I can't trust some people. I have trust issues now. I have trust issues. But yeah, I'm a big fan of wars. I love red, yellow, war. It was down for. It's like I say as well. It's one of the few that I have, and I have him with his gun, which is a rarity. And he came with his little fun tin as well. So I actually have him in his tin, which is kind of cute. The tins were silly, but I wish there were more available with their tins.
I don't mind the fast food colors, but something about him was just not appealing to me. I don't know.
Was it a bit too McDonald's for you?
No, it was. I think it's just the color combination in alt mode. It's like silver and black and the red, of course, and like blue windows, but they weren't like the baby blue windows that modern Transformers have. It was just like this
shiny metal.
The shiny metal looks good when it's not windows.
It is a weird choice to have windows as shiny metal. It is a bizarre look to it. I'll be honest. But I think I'd like to get, if I could, I'd like to get the Soundwave. I think I've looked on him on eBay a couple of times, but I didn't see him for like a good price. But I can't remember what I considered a good price. That Soundwave, I'd be okay with a version of Soundwave coming out like that in the future. You know, Excuse me. I think that'd be interesting.
So let's take just Soundwave. Yeah,
that's all of the spy changes now. I think, right? Yep. Okay, so now we're moving on to the deluxes. Orange, you might have to do the heavy lifting here because I've not had any of the Autobot deluxes out of this line. So we've got Prowl first. He's had a few iterations as well. Shockingly, there's Mac Alert, which is his Japanese version. Super Mac Alert, Clear Mac Alert, Prowl, Spy Changes Prowl. So there was another version of Spy Changer that we didn't talk about. Spy Changer Prowl. Then there's also Super Prowl. Then there's also Universe Prowl and another Spy Changes Prowl, but from Universe. So there you go. Is that all of them? Oh no, there's another one. There's another Transformers Universe Inferno, which is using the Prowl mold as well, and a official Transformers Collectors Club Universe Sideswipe, which is red, and another one, which is Sunstreaker. Huh. So this mold's been used a good old couple of times. What, Orange? I assume you've had this toy, right? Yes?
I have, yeah.
I have only heard these described, all of them, all of the Autobot, the Autobot brothers, as messy is how it was described to me.
Yeah, I could see them described as that. They were complicated, but not in a good way. But
kind of like Vinyl Tex alternators kind of way, would you say? Like what made them messy? Would you say what made them difficult?
I did not like the alternators for
No.
different reasons, but I would say they're a different kind of messy. They're like, how can I put this? They were really kibbly. I think that was the problem with them. But
With these, with the alternators, you mean? Sorry.
No, these guys.
Okay.
They were. I like them, to be honest, but I could see why people wouldn't like them. They were kibbly. The kibble really wasn't in good places. Like there were too many like bits on their arms that were like weird, like on Prowl here, that like, or Mock Alert, whatever you want to call him, like the shield on his left arm. It's one of those. I suppose it would be better if it was parts forming, so you had the option of not having it on there.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Like when I saw these guys, I thought, you know what, these are cool, and I was, under the naive impression that these were what, like, the quality and the detail that car formers would have going forward. Like, oh wow, these are what Autobot cars will be like from now on. So yeah, I was hyped for that reason, but yeah. As for like these themselves, I did have fun with them. I did recognize the problems they had, which I explained earlier, but they were overall pretty fun. Prowl, I had the American release, so yeah, Prowl was pretty fun. He was he looked really good in alt mode. He was fun to transform. The bot mode like had a really good aesthetic. Other than like the arm kibble, he was really cool, I think.
Yeah, I would agree. From just like looking at images, I liked how he was designed. Like he looks good in the show, but like you said, the issue for me for Kibble is the hips. He's got his doors hanging off of his hips, and he's also got the wheels on his thighs as well, which all kind of mush together. He's got really big shoulder pads as well, and his arms kind of stick out quite a long way from like the torso. With that white bit, you've got the shoulder, and then you've got the white bit, and then you've got the chest. So it really kind of spreads him out a little bit too far, and then he's got really thin legs as well. Proportionally, he's just kind of messy, and a lot of translucent plastic all over the robot mode as well, which is always a mild concern. Like you said, the vehicle mode looks really nice and clean. Really nice looking vehicle mode. Then the jet boosters is a nice little fun gimmick where you can stick his flamethrower gun thingy rocket things onto the back of his car mode for extra boosting. That's kind of cool. I like that. And I like the head design as well. Which is your favorite version of this color scheme then? Do you like the super version? Do you like the Inferno, the Sideswipe, the Sunstreaker? Which do you have a preferred version?
I do like the super version better. It's the metallic blue. I really like that. I only had two versions of the mold, the original and the super, so I didn't have a big pool to choose from, but that the blue one is my favorite for sure.
Yeah, it's a good color scheme. I think again the vehicle mode looks the best on this guy, especially with the blue on the front and on the back, and you've still got the white in the middle. I think it's a pretty effective little looking color scheme. It reminds me of some sci-fi shows where the police cars are kind of done up this way as well, where there's blue on it as well as white. I can't exactly pin down exactly which sci-fi series I'm thinking of when this kind of poops into my brain. Exel Hedge says, Legacy, RID, Prowl, and X-Brawn when? Well, I mean, we've got Sideburn, which we're going to get to in not too distant of a future. So
I don't know what you're talking about. We don't have Legacy Sideburn at all. That wasn't a thing.
Yeah, well, neither was what's the name from Cyberverse either. The lady who's crap.
Yeah, we
Whatever her
I
name
forgot
was.
her name even
Yeah.
something. Yeah,
Shadow,
we didn't
Shadow
have
Striker?
we didn't have a Shadow Striker either.
Yeah.
No, we didn't have a Quake. Quake doesn't exist yet.
Well, yeah, Skullgrin too. Hey, Quake might be really good. He might somehow not be shit.
Did you see that alt mode?
I did. It's
Yeah.
better than Skullgrin's, I suppose.
Is it though?
Yes. I'm happy to say it's better than Skullgrin's. But Skullgrin's is so bad that, kick to the testes would be better in some ways.
I mean, it's a hover tank. I think half hover tank, half he's like a half track, except the other half is a hover tank, which doesn't make any sense.
The fan mode for Skullgrin's way better. The weird, you leave out the giant skull head on the bottom, and it's this weird kind of squared ramming tank thing. That looks better. It's not perfect. I think people did a better job with it. Yeah, it's an interesting look at the very least. So, yeah, like I say, there's a couple of other versions of this Prowl mold. Red version, which is fine. Yellow version, which again is fine. The universe version, which is more. I don't know why they called it Inferno when it looks way more like Red Alert.
Yeah,
I don't know why they just maybe they didn't have the license for Red Alert's name, but it's just Red Alert. It's weird. It's weird. Licensing, naming, who knows? So, Prowl, messy. Is he as messy or less messy than X-Brawn?
Oof. X-Brawn is a different type of messy. It's hard to compare.
So how would you describe X-Brawn then? Because X-Brawn's got this asymmetrical arm design where his left arm is the entire front of his truck mode plus a giant fist, which makes him a little bit unbalanced, it looks like, in the images I've seen of him.
He is definitely unbalanced. You got that right.
So you say messy, but how would you describe him as messy then?
Oof. His other arm is horrible. Like any weapon or any like missing hand for a weapon except it's spring loaded, I cannot stand. Like why did they even have to do that? Like
it's very G1, but not in a good way.
Yeah, exactly. Like it could have been just a smaller hand and that would have been fine, but they had to make these two accessories that were super what's the word called? Unwieldy. I don't know.
Unwieldy. Yeah, I'd go with that.
Unwieldy, yeah.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to use them as missiles too, in addition to weird back kibble. It was really clunky. But his giant arm and the way he transformed, that was perfectly fine in my opinion.
Was it not too difficult? Was it not too fiddly? I don't know. And this is why I ask.
No? I would say it wasn't. And yeah, he was imbalanced. If you tried to, stand him up straight, there was one foot that kept on wanting to hover above the ground because of it. But other than that, he was fine.
I like the asymmetrical design. I look at that left arm and I go, there's no way that ball joint would support that arm. There's just no way. He's also got...
It did.
Did it? So you could have him hold his arm up straight ahead in front of him and it wouldn't wear the joint
there would
down.
be balance issues, but my copy at least, his joints were pretty tight.
Oh, interesting. He does have not only does he have the front of the car on that arm, but he also has one of the doors on that arm as well. I didn't realize the things on his back were missiles, but apparently yes. He also has a bladed weapon, which is interesting. Mm-hmm. So versions of this figure we've had are Wild Ride, which is why it was called in Japan, Super Wild Ride, a clear version of Wild Ride, X-Brawn, Super X-Brawn, no clear version of X-Brawn, but where there was the universe version of Autobot Ratchet as well. So which is, but what if red? Oh, no, it's got some tampos on it as well. It's actually got quite a lot of tampos on it. Holy shit. Look at that. Have you seen that one, Orange?
Which one?
What's
Where
it
is
called? The ratchet one. Look at the vehicle mode for him. He's got tampos on the front of the car with the emergency symbol
Yeah.
and emergency rescue. It's on the side of the door. There's a tampo of the
Ladder.
sirens on the top, and then two white blocks or three white blocks with, like you say, Orange, a ladder and a fire hose as well. There's a lot of tampo on this guy. A lot.
Yeah.
Shocking amount.
That is interesting, and like tampos of things that look like they need to be like 3D objects on
Yes.
that's ridiculous. I do think there needs to be more tampos on figures, but not like that. Like
No.
if they represent objects that's supposed to be like big 3D things, don't do that. If they're like greebles or something, then sure.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that that's the route they went down. I can kind of appreciate it because clearly they didn't have the budget to remold parts for this. You know, they were just kind of pooping it out. But it's so weird. It's like the meeting. It's like, fuck it, just put on some stickers. I'll do it. It's fine. What any thoughts on the other iterations like Super X Brawn? Do you prefer Super X Brawn or Standard Brawn?
Oh, the Super one was way too busy color scheme wise. I do prefer the original.
Yeah, I think the car mode's fine. It's like one of those kind of race car, rally car kind of things. But it's just like weird, like, I don't know what shape you want to call that. Like, it's not a full circle. It's like a swoosh effect. There's too many just swooshes on it. And I don't think it transfers really super well into the robot mode. The robot mode still looks way too similar to the
oval
standard version. Oval kind of shapes. The standard robot mode just kind of looks too similar to the normal version of the figure anyway. So it kind of feels almost a bit redundant. Oh, there's also a Spy Changers Brawn as well. We didn't talk about, I guess, these deluxe Spy Changers where they're based on the characters. What do you think of that one? Do you like this Spy Changer? Because he looks fine. He doesn't have the fist. Yeah?
Yeah. I really like that. He was really fun. Like, again, like he was like compatible with Hot Wheels tracks. He was just super quick to transform, just like smack his arm on his head, fold the other one up, and smush him down. That was it.
I know these ones, when I say these ones, I mean the ones that aren't based off the G2 molds. It looks like there's a little bit more to them because they're not just the same transformation over and over again.
I wouldn't say too much more to them. Like,
that's fair.
Maybe a few more parts, but like they were simple enough to where they were pretty much functionally the same, I suppose. Yeah.
I think what I mean is, I suppose, is they have the boon of not being the exact same transformation scheme.
Yeah. A couple of them did have, like there was the Optimus and Ultra Magnus versions of the Spy Changers, like really small version, and then there was the Scourge and this guy, obviously. But the other two, Prowl and Sideburn, they were pretty much standard.
Yeah.
Transform the same Spy Changers. Yeah.
So kind of interesting. Do you want to move on from X-Brawn, or did you have anything else to say about him? Because I will mention as well, again, I really like the head design. I think his head design is really nice and interesting and unique. Very similar.
Head design was cool. I really like the Mom Van alt mode. I really. Other than that, yeah, we can move on. Sure.
All right. Next up is Sideburn, who doesn't exist in this day and age, of course. He's had a couple of redos as well over the years. So there is a Speedbreaker, his Japanese name. There is Super Speedbreaker, a mostly translucent Super Speedbreaker, Sideburn, Super Sideburn, and then Universe Sideburn, which is not translucent but has more black on it. There's also the official Transformers Collectors Club version of Roulette and Shadow Striker, which I remember seeing many years ago and thinking, oh, and then hearing the thoughts on the mold and going, oh, well, never mind. So Sideburn has a really, really, really cool alt mode.
He looks really nice in alt mode. Really, really nice.
Apart from the very, very translucent windows where I can see everything inside of him. I kind of wish they were not translucent windows.
Oh, he's peeking through. Hello.
Yeah,
Hello, side.
I can see you. This is my dog who is trapped in the car. Oh no, it's just Sideburn's head. Please crack a window open for him.
Right, yeah. And he has that completely superfluous Autobot symbol in the rear. Yeah. That's that is so ridiculous. I mean, the rest of his alt mode looks gorgeous, but
Yeah.
yeah.
It's the
his
problem we still
transforma-
face today with translucent windows. It's like they don't need to be translucent windows if we can see the entire robot on the inside. Just make them opaque and paint them.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. It's a different story when you have a detailed interior like the alternators.
Yes.
Yeah, hell yeah.
100%.
Like translucent windows all day on those, but
Yeah.
like for these, no, it's ridiculous.
There's no need. Yeah. What about the robot mode? Again, it looks like he's one of those robots that is, as we mentioned before, very kibbly. Can you take the shield off of his arm, or is that just permanently stuck on there?
I seem to remember it being on a ball joint so you can remove it, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. So he's got that on one arm. He has a wheel on the back of his forearm, another forearm. He has the front of the car on one shoulder, and he has the big old door panels on his back, and giant bits of blue and car wheels on the side of each of his thighs as well. So he's got really skinny legs and then just like shit on the side of them as well.
He was the prime example of just kibble everywhere. They didn't care as long as he just transformed somehow and worked somehow. Sure.
It's good enough.
I mean,
fine.
His transformation, I hate. I just hate that transformation. I mean, he was fun in robot mode, I suppose. He looked gorgeous in alt mode. His transformation was horrible. He was just so messy. He was just a mixed bag for me. I mean,
what was wrong with the transformation?
Like there was just the way everything like tucks in. It was just so unsatisfying. It was not. What's the word I'm looking for? Intuitive. It was. I remember having a lot of trouble with it initially. Of course, I'm the type that don't read the instructions, so that might be that might have contributed to my frustration. But I remember not liking the transformation at all. When I got used to it, it was still like, I don't want to do this too many times.
Out of interest, is it one of those things where he had to be very precisely folded to kind of all go together, or was it just more of the case of just like parts banging into each other as you try to rotate them into the correct place kind of feel, or was it a bit of both?
Parts banging into each other. I think that was more like I remember him snapping together pretty fine, but like you really had to struggle snapping them in because of the like parts banging into each other, or like it not wanting to stay before you snap it in. But once you snap it in, it was fine.
Okay.
But it was just messy, and yeah. I mean, the parts that were good were decent. Like he was fun to play with in bot mode. His alt mode is gorgeous, as you know. But the parts that were bad were really bad.
Came with a few things as well. He came with a knife, a gun blade, as it's called, a missile launcher, and an extra missile for his car. There was also the Spy Changer one, which you mentioned, which only has the car mode that looks like his, and the robot mode definitely does not. Oddly enough, this seems to be a unique mold that they then reuse for Autobot Jazz in the future. Or Spy Changer Autobot Jazz in 3 years after this figure. So odd that it's kind of meant to be new, but it just looks like the same as the other ones. The G2 Spy Changers, I mean. Bit of a weird choice. Do you have a preferred color scheme or how this guy looks?
I like the super mode better, yeah.
What about the universe version where the car mode is black and it's got the kind of gray tampo on the front? I think that one looks really good, actually. The car mode, at least.
It does look decent, but the hood makes it look like a like industrial platform you would step on in like some sort of facility. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, I was thinking cheese grater.
Yeah. See, something like that too. Like something sort of like I don't know. Are you in someone's like underground laboratory and like exploring this facility, or like are you grating cheese or something? Then you'll want this figure.
Well, just think, if you hit someone with your car and they roll over the top of your hood of the car and it's a cheese grater, they're not getting away happily. That's for sure. They're gonna get grated.
No. Yeah, you're gonna at least have some more meat for your sandwich later.
That's true. In strips too, which is nice. What do you think about Roulette and Shadow Striker? Because I like the idea of them. I think the color schemes on them are pretty cool.
Same.
I think their head sculpts are pretty hideous.
Yeah.
They're almost okay. They're almost fine. I hate the lips. That's the thing I hate on them. I hate the lips.
Oh, you understand me. That's what I don't like about them too. So why? It's just I don't like prominent lips on my Transformers, except Overlord. He has some beautiful lips.
I see. My issue is that there are the well, it wasn't a thing back then, but for 2024, the duck lips. That's what they're going for. They got duck lips on them. It's weird because it looks like they're stickers. It doesn't look like they're real. You know.
Now you mention it, they kind of do. Yeah, I like. They would be so much better if they were on a different mold. The mold choice was. I mean, what better mold did you have at the time? Yeah, I understand that, but I mean they could have been cool, I think. But,
yeah. It's weird because I'm not averse to female Transformers having like lips. It's just the shape of these. It just, to me, looks silly, almost blow-up doll kind of silly. You know. Where you're like,
yeah,
oh, okay.
I just don't like this. I don't like the whole like Transformers Prime, how they done with no lips. That was weird. Like if they just handled them like normal Transformers that have like no lip paint, but you can tell they still had lips, that's fine.
Yeah,
that's my favorite way to handle any Transformer. Like if you're like Windblade and have like a full face of paint, then sure, lip paint is fine, but otherwise why?
I mean, you mentioned Transformers Prime, but Arachnid had lipstick on, if I remember.
Oh, did you? Yeah, she did. Like, okay.
That was okay. That worked.
That
I still didn't.
I still didn't like it, but like, I mean, all of them didn't have lip paint except Arachnid, but like, I still don't like lip paint on any of my bots except Windblade because of her whole like deal. But like, yeah. It's just,
but Arachnid was the evil dark goth chick, so I'm okay with that. That's fine. That's my forte. I'm good with that. So hang on. Axel Hedge says X-Brawn should come with a human, his human Kelly. That'd be fun. I think that's expensive.
We need more human figures, and not like the 1 in 12 scale. No, we need the little tiny the Sam and the Charlie that came with their respective Bumblebees in the Studio Series line.
Oh,
like those little tiny statues.
You don't mean like Sam and Michaela from the Human Alliance series?
No, like the little tiny ones, like the ones that are in scale with their Bumblebees. That
do
they came
you mean
with.
like the 3 kids from the Transformers Prime series?
No. Like, remember Sam that came with Studio Series Bumblebee, and then there was like a Charlie that came with the Volkswagen one.
Oh! You mean like the Transformers animated Sumdac and the police officer?
No.
They were third parties.
Do you not remember the ones I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, I do. I'm just giving you examples of really fucking terrible ones. Big D says, no, Andy, he means good.
Exactly.
Yes, I was giving you examples of lots of shit versions of human characters over the years. I can't think which were the worst out of them. Out of the ones I mentioned there, Orange, which do you think were the worst? Because I don't know.
Out of those, yes.
Maybe the Sumdac. and Sari, I think they were pretty bad, but they weren't official.
My answer is yes.
You have to have them in your collection. We have to scrap your entire collection, but you can only have one of these sets of human characters from Transformers. Which will it be? Note, I'll be kind. If you take the Sam and Michaela, I will allow you to have the Human Alliance figures that they came with.
You know what? Sure.
Yay!
I mean, I could hide them inside of them. I wouldn't have to look at them. Sure,
That's true. Right, so next up we have Megabolt. I don't know why I picked this version of Megabolt first, because this is the store exclusive of Megabolt. But this is one of the leftover remnants from Beast Machines. We'll be seeing a couple of these as we go through the stuff. So what was this? This was the Beast Machines Megatron head from the end of the show. But what if it transformed? If you scroll down, you can see the original version. There are 3 versions of him. There's the first version, the 2002 version, which I have, the 2003 version, which is the green and kind of bronzy colored one. And then there's the 2005 one, which is the one that was released in Japan, which is similar to the 2002 one, but it's got more pinky purple on it for some reason. So let's go on the 2002 version. The one that I have, I will say, this is a pretty fucking cool little figure. It's a little bit loosey-goosey with the joints because there are a lot of ball joints on him, but he has a pretty fun transformation. He has the Energon spark crystal in his chest, and if you push that, I think it flipped over his missile on his back and also brought over the Megatron helmet from Beast Machines to make him look more like that character. And the head mode, it had spider legs for some reason, and never had that in the show. But if you push it along the ground, the little spider legs attempt to move. And oddly enough, I've seen people make use of this on their Fortress Maximize. And it was
they're compatible, aren't they?
Yeah, if you it says on the bottom for a feature, which I'm not sure why this is a feature, but removal of the vehicle mode legs allows for the figure to replace the head of Fort Max from 1987, or one of the figures we're going to be talking about in the not too distant future, as well as subsequent versions of the toy. That's pretty cool. Did you ever have this, Orange?
I didn't know. I was so happy that Beast Machines was over, and I completely ignored all of the remnants.
That's fair.
So
I can understand that.
Skipped this by faster than I possibly could. But for what it's worth, I do like the color scheme on the Beast Wars Returns version. It's pretty
the
nice.
Japanese one.
Yeah.
What makes you like that one the most, would you say?
Just the obnoxious colors.
There's a lot of that vibrant kind of pinky purple color on him.
Vibrant. That's a better description. Yes.
What were you saying? Obnoxious, didn't you? That's what you said. Yeah. I think it might look better as the head as well. I think they've got the paint in the right places to give it more of the TV look. Obviously, apart from the spider legs. It had this weird thing of, you see the groin piece? That is a more softer rubbery plastic for some reason than the rest of the figure, and I don't know why that's a different kind of plastic than the rest of him, but it is. I would say definitely get it. If you want a giant floating head transformer, I would recommend it. It's fun and weird and different. It's one of those unique ones that you don't really see too often. The transformation's okay. It's nothing crazy. I will say the one thing I didn't like about it is the head mold for Megatron. It looks like a baked bean. A miscolored baked bean. The shape is big beanie. It's very tall and rectangular, much like a baked bean.
I can see that, yeah.
Something about it I don't like.
You're recommending a little head. You know what? I've been needing a little creepy head. Yeah, I've been sleeping too well at night.
I don't know how to take what you're saying, Orange. I don't know how to take what you're saying. You being rude, you might be. Oh, I will say as well, a cool thing about the head mode, if you push the head along, as I mentioned, the little legs go, the mouth will open and close. That's fun, and it'll also poop out the missile as well. So that's kind of neat. I'm a big fan of that. Yeah,
Beautiful.
it's neat. I think it's a little fun thing. Next, as I'm not sure I mentioned the other Megabolt, the 2003 Megabolt. Weird color scheme, no idea why. It is army green, and a baby blue and sand greeny. Sand yellowy kind of color. I don't know why. I don't know. It was 2002. It was 2003. People were smoking stuff. What can I tell you?
Decisions were made. Yep.
Yeah. Choices were made. What can I say? It's interesting. I think you're right though. The Mega Head Megatron from Beast Wars Return, probably the best one, I would say. Next up, we have another returner from Beast Machines. It's Jahaxus, a redo of which version of him is it? Beast Machines Jetstorm, the deluxe one, not the really big one, not the fancy one. This was also redone as was it just Jahaxus? No, I think there's another version of this mold as well. Yeah, no. There's another version of this mold for Robots in Disguise as well, which is just Jetstorm, where he's white and blue. Don't get confused though, because this one is white and orange instead of white and red. Ooh, jealous? Sure you are. What do you think of this one, Orange? Did you ever play with this mold at all? Because I haven't played with this color of this mold, but I have played with this mold. It's not super impressive.
Yeah, I had the original Jetstorm and the Universe Skywarp. I did not have any other version of the mold.
What did you think of the mold itself then?
It was pretty fun. I liked it.
I wasn't a big fan of it. I didn't like the giant cockpit in between his groin. I thought the attempt to do the flight mode was concept art feeling more so than anything else, because obviously it didn't really look much like him from the show.
True, yeah.
And I was never a big fan of his, the claw hands. I never felt that they came across too well. I thought the head sculpt was kind of interesting, and I liked the jet mode. I liked how you could pull the head out and have that kind of twizzle left and right. That was pretty neat. Thought that was nice. But I wasn't a big fan of it. What did you like about it?
I really liked the spacecraft of the original, around that era. I suppose Beast Machines gave us a few of those, so that was one of the only good things that came out of it. And that was neat, having a little space jet that sort of had an articulated crotch. Sure, why not? That was neat.
Sure. Yeah.
The articulation was good. I didn't mind the hands. I just kind of ignored them. But the little propulsion engines on his legs, those were pretty cool. I dug it. It was nice.
Private Spoon says, I'm a bit late joining in, but only memory of RID from the time is my sister worked in Argos at the time, and she said those toys were constantly being returned due to fiddly transformations. Oh my god. Yeah.
Wow. Huh.
I wonder if that's the Autobot brothers, because we were just talking about them being kind of messy. So yeah, that could be a thing.
Yep.
Big D also says, my housemate at uni had the Beast Machines version of this, and it was a fun toy to mess with. I didn't find it that fun. I've got this mold, but I don't know what it is about it. I just don't like it. I haven't finagled with it in my hand for a while. Maybe it's the color scheme, because I didn't like the color scheme too much on the original version of this mold. This weird kind of turquoise bluey color and then yellow, which I didn't think worked too well. Oddly enough, though, this is, I think, the very first figure of Jahaxus we ever got at the time. We got this, and then we got the Generations redo of the Armada Starscream deluxe figure, and obviously now we have the newest version of him. But yeah, this was the first Jahaxus figure, which probably annoyed some people, I presume, because it looked nothing like the comic version. As you mentioned, Orange, there was the Skywarp version, which might be the nicest version of this figure, I think. It's just Skywarp colors. Looks pretty nice, pretty sinister. Not as good as Armada Skywarp, I don't think, but not bad. You have anything else you want to say about Jahaxus or this mold?
Not really.
No? We have a 3-pack now. We're not going to spend a huge amount of time on this because we've kind of talked about this already. We got Gas Skunk, we got Dark Scream, And we got Slapper as well, who I guess I didn't pull up an image of, but it's the same figures we've talked about previously. Do you have anything new you want to say about these three, Orange? Because I think like we probably covered most of it the previous time we talked about it for Beast Wars, right?
Yeah, we covered them. I don't really have anything to say more. They're yeah.
They're fun. Yeah, it's weird that they were sold as a 3-pack. We next up have Bludgeon, who was a store exclusive, who is a redo of Hero Megatron or Arch Force Megatron. Or prototype, well, not prototype, but pre-mold of Robot Master's Reverse Convoy. This was one of those ones where you got to hammer down on the squishy thing to launch the missile. Interestingly enough, not remolded, but for some reason painted with a Cyclops mono eye, which I don't think worked super well, but looked interesting. I kind of like the color scheme of him. Yellow tank with green, with a kind of army green look to him. Did you ever have this mold in particular, Orange?
I had the mold as Hero Megatron, yes.
Yeah. Were you ever tempted by the Bludgeon version, this weird yellow boy?
It's just the first in a long line of non-pretender bludgeons, and I do not appreciate it whatsoever. But it exists, so yeah.
What do you think of the way that they painted the eyes as one attempted lens? Thin lens, kind of sound wave eye, I suppose. I don't know. I guess it was just to try and make it look interesting or different, but I'm not sure. It looks weird, right?
Yeah. 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 Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Another repaint we got here is Smoke Jumper and Dreadwind. Smoke Jumper and Dreadwind, who are redos of Smokescreen and... Is it Dreadwind again? Yes. Dreadwing. Oh, yeah, this one got winded, the other one got winged. These are just redos of those figures into a white... army green and darker green kind of color scheme. It came as a 2-pack. They do everything they did previously. So nothing too out of the realms of possibility of what they were doing. I felt these were boring in comparison to the previous versions we've had of them. And there's been, in total, there's been 4 versions. There's the G2 versions, which were blue and teal. The Beast Wars second versions, which is probably the best, which is black and purple. This one, which is the army colors. And then I'd say the worst colors are the Robot Master versions, which were blue and then baby blue. Any thoughts on these two? Did you have these, Orange?
I adored this mold. It was just so good.
This was a revolutionary mold.
Molds, yeah.
They were both revolutionary. Yeah.
It was. It was like the 2 of the most fun figures of I suppose the 90s and the 2000s. It was just so fun. Yeah. Like if you're wanting to buy older figures, like this would be on the top of the list. These were just stellar, and I don't know why like Energon Starscream was a different mold. They transformed the exact same way, and like they were almost the exact same model of plane. This mold was good enough, but for some reason he had to be a new mold. I don't know, but
well, if you remember as well, the yellow the yellow and black jet, or the orange and black jet from the movie line, who came with the trident, that was based off of this transformation scheme as well.
Yep, he was. What was his name? Oh no, I forget. He was amazing.
He was really good. Yeah, he was also done into Space Case, was it? The translucent version, the next movie after? Space
Case and Depth Charge from the
That's
TFCC.
Right. Yeah. So this transformation scheme has been used for long time. 90s till basically 2015 or 16? Oh, Big D says Terror Dive in Space Case. That was it. It was
Terror Dive, yes. Yeah. He was amazing.
I think the only problem with Terror Dive was how his trident unfolded, because the joint, that plastic for the trident is like not super strong. It's quite thin. I think
Yeah.
people's have snapped just from like transforming over the years, which I wouldn't be surprised by. I can't remember if mine has a crack in it or not. It might
I
do.
remember having every single version of that mold.
Of which
I,
mold?
I just loved it. The Pterodite mold, yeah.
Well, there wasn't too many. There's like 3, wasn't there?
Yeah. There was the ones we listed, that's about it.
Yeah, it's a good mold. It was fun. I'm glad I still got them. Big D says, I have them both standing guard next to Generations Dark Mount. I really like Dark Mount.
Nice.
I like him quite a lot.
I could just talk about these two molds right here all day. These were just so fantastic, and they combined.
Yeah. Yeah, the idea that you push them together and it helped transform him into his tank mode was a really fun idea. Kind of works.
Yeah, good accessories that work with each other, good play features, fun transformations, fun robot modes and alt modes. That I can't remember any bad thing about them. I mean, I'm sure if I had them in hand now, maybe I could find something. I feel like anything I would find would just be nitpicks, though, because I just remember positive things about them.
I think, like, if you want to be nitpicky, maybe you could say that Dreadwind, not all of his missiles could store in his missile launcher, so you were always left with some on the side of his wings. They were easy to lose. He could be a bit back heavy, depending on how good his hip joints were. Because he had no heel spurs at all. But apart from that, like you said, if you want like an older Transformer, these two are just a really good set to get. Which would be your favorite versions of them, color-wise, though? Because I still would go with Beast Wars second. For me, they've got the best color scheme. Though I'm nostalgic for the G2 version. Because I still have
the Beast Wars second is really good, but a little too Skywarpy for me. I mean, the color scheme is pretty timeless. I have to admit that you can't go wrong with that color scheme on anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm kind of way too fond of the G2 version just because of the nostalgia, I suppose. I guess the only one I don't like is the Robot Masters one.
Yeah, I had it. It's just really boring, unfortunately. It's like the G2 version, but worse.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, any version of the mold I adore, like, if I had to pick a least favorite, right, I'd pick the Robot Masters. Yeah.
If the Robot Masters didn't exist, I would say the Robots in Disguise one, just because it feels a little bit boring. It's not bad. It's just a little dull, just flat military colors. Like, okay.
Yeah, it does look a little realistic, and if that's what you want, then that would be the choice.
Yes.
But
yeah,
in my personal taste, I'd say that would be my least favorite if Robot Masters didn't exist.
Agreed. Yeah. Private Spoon says Beast Wars second looked better. I think so. Next up, we have Ruination, or Bruticus. Many thousands of Bruticus. Or Baldigus. We have Armahide, Mega Octane, Movor, Rotor, and Rollbar. So versions of this mold that we had Baldigus for car robots, Ruination. Then we had Ruination, which didn't look like the TV show version. Then we had the Walmart exclusive version of Ruination, which was the gray camo version. Is that winter camo? I don't know. Whichever camo that is. There's a desert camo version, and that was it. But this is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's like 8 versions of this this mold at this point for Bruticus, or maybe more at this point, including reissues.
Wasn't there like a yellow version of him?
You mean the G2 version?
No, like a yellow version of Ruination specifically.
You mean like just hard yellow, or do you mean the desert color version? Because I don't remember a hard yellow version.
I seem to remember, maybe I'm just misremembering. I thought there was, okay.
I don't remember that. If you wanted the TV Acura version, which I have, you'd have to either go to Korea or Japan, because it was the only way to get the TV Acura version of these figures. If you stuck with the American version, you were stuck with this like almost correct version. It's almost right, but for some reason they just messed up. Like Armahide is incorrect. Who else is incorrect? Rotor's right. Movor's right. Rollbar's right. Oh, it's just for some reason it's just literally Mega Octane who's the wrong color scheme and Armahide who's the wrong color scheme. I have no idea why. I have no idea why they didn't do them correctly. It's weird to me. Do you have this version, or do you just have a Bruticus Bruticae?
I do have the Ruination version, yeah.
The proper one or the American one?
The American one.
Oh, okay.
It was just on shelves, and I picked it up. I'm like, you know what? Sure, yeah. My Dudicus needs a brother, I guess. Sure.
What do you think of the recolors of them? Because I really like Movor. Is it Movor? The helicopter. I need to get the right, because they got weird names in Japan. They got Danga, Doll Railer, Jeeber, Hepter, and then Shuttler. I don't like that.
Jeeber, that's a name right there.
Yeah.
The rest of the names I cannot stand. Both sets. They're ridiculous.
See, I don't mind Rotor. I think Rotor is fine for a helicopter. Rollbar, fine. Mega Octane, that's fine. He can be the brother of Octane. He just doesn't. He's not a triple changer.
They need like knockoff names of like the Combaticons. Like instead of Onslaught, you have Offslot, right?
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, something like that.
So instead of Blast Off, it's Blast On.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Vortex. What would you use? Hurricane instead of Vortex?
Sure.
Brawl, fight. I'll do. He's fight. Swindle. What's another word you could use instead of swindle?
Dwindle.
Swindle and dwindle.
Yes.
I like that because it's stupid. Yeah. What did you think the as for a repaint? Because I think the Baldigus is a really cool repaint of these guys. I like the military color schemes. I like the gold on them. I think that really makes him pop. Obviously, the Ruination version I'm not a big fan of because it doesn't do too much with the Ruination parts. It just adds a bit of black onto them, which I feel is a bit dull. It makes him look too similar to the original version of Bruticus, at least for my tastes.
Honestly, I really like the Walmart exclusive. The
Which one?
Urban Camo one.
Oh, the gray one. Okay. Again, that's a bit too gray for me. I like the team individually. I think they each look individually pretty neat as like their vehicles.
I think an Urban Camo shuttle is amusing.
He actually looks really good in his robot mode because he brings the Urban Camo onto his arms. Some of them don't. For some reason, Mega Octane has no Urban Camo on him in robot mode.
Oh, true.
He's like just gray, which is really boring. Swindle keeps some on his legs. Actually, they've painted Swindle's mouth as well, white, so you can see his little mouth. That's really cool.
Yes, they painted Dwindle's mouth.
Dwindle's mouth. My bad. I apologize, Dwindle. I don't want to shit on you too bad. I think some of them work better than others. I don't like the combined mode. I don't think that works too well. If they'd added more camo to like the thighs or at least to the chest, I think maybe that's it. If they changed the chest to something else or got more of the camo on there and the head, I would have liked it a bit more. If you wanted Ruination, Baldigus, I guess what you could have done, it wouldn't have been perfect, but you could have got the original version or the original set of Ruination and then this Desert Storm version, because it then has the Baldigus combined parts, and it has Armahide, who's almost the correct color. Like, they don't have the desert stripes. It's more like what do you call that pattern design? It's more like bushes or weeds kind of thing, right? Like vines, rather than like tiger stripes.
On the base Ruination Mega Octane, or
I mean on the Desert Camo version, they've got these weird like instead of like tiger stripes. Which is what oh no, it's not even tiger stripes Armahide has. Armahide has like the cow pattern kind of splodges on him.
I have no idea what those are. They do look like vines. That is weird.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of camo that is. It's not stripes though. It's definitely not stripes.
Alien tentacle camo.
Oh no, it's my favorite kind. Big D says splinter camo. Is that a real thing? Is splinter camo a real thing, or is that just a makeup thing? That could be a fake thing. That sounds right. Again though, Mega Octane has no color on him for the robot mode. He's missing all of it. He's got it all on his back this time. There's vehicle mode, but it just doesn't transfer over at all into the robot mode. But like I say, if you wanted an American version of Baldigus, again, these two sets is probably the way to do it. Apparently it is. Splinter camo is the thing. Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Oh.
There you go. Yeah. Anything else you want to say on Baldigus?
I learned something today about splinter camo.
I wish I could say I'd retain that information, but I can almost guarantee you by tomorrow I won't remember what it's called.
To be honest, me too. Yeah,
I'm old. I blame it to being old. That's what I blame.
I don't have anything else to say about this guy. He's just knockoff Bruticus to me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sure he exists. I respect him for that, but.
I respect that you live. There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think we've got too much to say on Cryotech because I think we kind of covered him the last time you and I did one of these shows where we talked about the Transmetal figures. If I remember, we both liked him. He's really good.
Yeah, I wanna repeat that I love this figure. I absolutely adore this figure. So that's about it.
Yep, that's fine with me. He's very good. Now, another odd one. This is the Air Attack Optimus Primal from Beast Machines. He was a store exclusive, apparently, and this is the only way you could get him. Previously, the Optimus Primal was the Mega? Or effectively the Voyager of that time period. This one was the big old fancy one that never got a release. It's only had a couple of versions of itself, apparently. It had this version, the Platinum Edition Year of the Monkey, 2016, which took place like 14 fucking years later. And then there was in 2018 the Encore Returns Convoy, which is another way you could get this figure as well, apparently. So this had a couple of features. It had lights and sounds featuring the voice of Gary Chalk. I have a feeling that wasn't the case for the future releases of the figure. Pressure activated disc launcher. There was also a spring-loaded punch gimmick and a spring-loaded jetpack. I think as well the lights and sound features happened when you kind of floated the figure up and down. So if you like made him go in for a swoosh, it would have a different sound effect, if I remember from the adverts, right? That sound familiar?
I didn't pay attention to the adverts.
I'm pretty sure they did. But if you wanted the most accurate version, TV accurate version of Beast Machines Primal, this was it. Though his monkey face was somewhat scary, as it did have very sharp teeth. Very alluring, seductive fingers, though, which is kind of nightmarish. Did you ever have this? I've seen people have it in hand, Orange, but I've yet to finagle with it as well myself. Also, very translucent, big forearms. Very translucent.
Oh yeah, indeed. I actively avoided this figure.
Was it because of your disdain for Beast Machines and their aesthetics?
That too. He's just so hideous. I do not like. I don't like Primal's Beast Machines aesthetic. I didn't like the way this figure look at his robot mode face. Look at it. Take a good look at it. He looks like he smashed his balls in a car door.
I don't know why they made him scream. Like he's perpetually screaming forever.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't think it's a bad head mold. I think it captures the CGI model design fairly accurately for the most part. And there's loads of paint on it as well. Loads.
Props to the sculptor for that. They nailed his hideous look.
I hope you never comment on somebody's child, Orange, especially if they have an ugly baby. I'm gonna say that now.
No, I wouldn't say that about a human. A non-Optimus Primal human. Yeah.
Okay. I wouldn't say that about an ugly baby. Fair enough. I can see that.
Yeah, exactly. Babies are safe from my verbal wrath.
I think this is probably one of those. At this point, it was probably one of the most articulated hand Transformers at this point, right? Because Unicron hadn't came out at this point, and this has finger, knuckle joints and all that. I can't really... I think there's a thumb joint. Yeah, there's a singular thumb joint, which isn't very good, but this is kind of interesting, at least from an engineering standpoint. It's not one that I was gagging to get, I'll be honest. Also, weird shoulder pads.
Yeah, he looks like he could make really good use of those fingers. Yeah.
Oh God. Axel Hedge says the up and coming Age of Primes Combaticons better get a Real Nation repaint. I think Axel Hedge that at some point we'll get every version of Bruticus because Bruticus is an easy sell.
I want. Here's what I want. I want a G1 cartoon accurate Bruticus, and I want the rest of them to be toy accurate retools of that.
Oh, okay.
That's what I want. As long as that happens, I'll be. My satisfaction will be like 70% there.
Well, I'll tell you what I hope they don't do. I hope they don't do what they have done for Motormaster and done such a bizarrely, weirdly slow release of the G2 versions. Think about when the first G2 repaint came out, which was Drag Strip. It was for the Velocitron line. Was that last year?
I don't know how I found that. Like, it was like a year afterward, and it was at a discount store, and it was so horrible. I don't know how I managed to find the dead end, or red end, as I like to call him. He's cherry flavored. You know what? All of the Toxitron figures are some kind of fruit flavored.
That's true. I could see that. That's not wrong. We still haven't seen the G2 Motormaster though.
True. Breakdown is in United Wave 5.
He's the last one we need, right?
No, we need
Wild Rider.
We need Wild Rider and Motormaster. Yep.
Yeah, damn. So potentially going to still be a while until we get. Well, if you were collecting the G2 Motormaster, it's still going to be a while before you get the full set.
Yep.
So I hope if they do repaints of the Combaticons, the release schedule is a bit better, or you just make a PulseCon exclusive, I don't know, store exclusive, Amazon exclusive, or something, just to get them out. I 5 years to get this mold of this recolor.
I agree. I still do hope that they're sold separately, but because like one big box set is a really big ask, in my opinion. That's why I didn't get the like toy colors of the Legacy Stunticons, but I do hope they're released better than the G2.
I think the problem with that set as well was it was really close to what the original toys were anyway. There was no real incentive to get it. Do you want the toy accurate version or the cartoon accurate version, which you've already owned for a good couple of months now? Why would I get this set when it's barely any difference, Yeah,
exactly.
At least if it's a G2 color scheme, they're completely different visually, at the very least. So
I would have loved... Sorry, go on.
No, I was going to move us on. Sorry, you were going to say.
I would have like the breakdown was just so close. I mean, I understood why he doesn't look that much like a Lamborghini. Like they tried to retool it as much as they could, but like the paint on the toy version didn't help as much as it should have. Like it still doesn't look any closer to a Lamborghini, right? I mean, I appreciate the effort that the sculptor's done, but yeah, it didn't do anything for me. So,
I mean, a lot of the problems with most of the limbs for that set are they're far too close to the Combiner Wars molds, arguably worse, which is kind of a shame. Like Breakdown is, Dead End kind of is. He's a little different, but not massively. And Wild Rider is just Dead End again. Not Dead End. Dead End and Breakdown are just the same mold, just like I say, worse than the Combiner Wars version because they've got that hideous backpack, which opens up for no reason. Why does it open up?
It's a cape. It's a weird 3-pronged cape for some reason. I don't know.
It's bizarre. It opened up for no reason. No reason. Didn't do anything. Extra parts for no point. I don't know. Aerial Attack Optimus Prime, though. You're not a fan, clearly.
Not really. No.
No. Okay. I would agree he's weird. It's nice that you were able to get it, even if it had to come out in a different line. Now we have one that I'm sure you're looking forward to talking about. It's Rail Racer, who's made out of Midnight Express, Rail Spike, and Rapid Run. This has only had the JRX version, which is the Japanese version, which I don't think there's a huge amount of difference, or the original, or the Hasbro version. So, do you want to talk about any of the individual ones particularly?
I really did like this set, even as like I remember displaying them in their individual robot modes, their component robot modes. I mean, it's not like I didn't like Rail Racer. I just like to display I displayed them strangely enough with my spy changers because they were vaguely in scale.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, like the train bots are like in scale. They'd be like
they would be big. Yeah.
If the Car Brothers are deluxe, these guys would be like commander size, right?
Yeah.
They were pretty big in the cartoon. Yeah.
What did you think about their individual components? Because okay, let's be honest. They transform into trains, so that makes it difficult to make these things work as robots, and they also have to be combiner parts. So with Midnight Express, his legs are fucking massive. They're huge. He also has massive shoulder pads as well. Rail Spike is very, very slender until you get to his big old shoulder pads. And then Rapid Run is also incredibly slender. They're all very, very thin, mostly because they're trains. I had a problem with, I think I broke, which was it? I broke something on my Midnight Express, but I can't remember exactly what I think it was the internal joints of one of the legs, because unfortunately a lot of these guys are translucent, right? They're translucent plastic. So I think the legs kind of extend and then they kind of click into place. And I think one of those parts snapped on the inside, so I had to get a replacement one, which is kind of a bummer. This was later on in life as well, not like I got the JRX version of the Korean version, I think it was. So then I had to replace it with an American one that hadn't broken, which was kind of a shame. I do have them combined together into Rail Racer, and I think the combined form is really interesting visually. It is just kind of, they stack on top of each other, but it's got that Transformers Brave series vibe, which some of the other kind of unique robots have to them as well. Especially them being trains, which is incredibly Japanese, and just how the Brave series worked. This was very, very much in that kind of style. What do you have to say about these guys then?
Yeah, their proportions were really wonky, but I honestly didn't mind. I mean, like Midnight Express was like relatively chunky for being a train that like I don't know, but for some reason he wasn't in proportion. Like somehow he had huge legs, but he didn't have the thick thighs, right? He can't save lives with those,
Yeah, he's all like knee to shin huge, no thighs, no torso, very weedy arms.
Like the short thigh syndrome. Like that's an actual problem with transforming figures. Like they as a result of some of their transformations, like somehow they end up with like super, super short thighs, and like usually more often than not, all of their leg height goes toward their shins.
Yeah.
It is so awkward and I hate it. That's why I put my figures to the test and try to kneel them. Oh. If they can manage a kneel, full knee and the other leg's foot to the ground without like doing a weird like split or anything, then they pass. But the short thigh syndrome figures never do. Like even some of them with like the deep hip articulation, even if they do that, their thighs are sometimes just too short to even get their knee to the ground.
Yeah.
Because Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like Rapid Run, or not Rapid Run, Midnight Express is one of the more egregious examples of this. Another one in the line, which we'll talk about later, is Ultra Magnus.
Oh,
Like
okay.
if you want to talk about short thigh syndrome, he would be like the poster child.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, that's my opinion of Midnight Express. Just wonky proportioned legs.
Yeah.
Rail Spike, I think, was close. I think his design was close to being really good. The chest, I think, done it for me. It was just like the head, the combiner head on the front of him, just hanging there. It was really weird.
It would
I
be
think-
nice if that could have compressed into his chest somehow, just to kind of hide the face and the how far it juts out in front of him.
Yeah, something like that. And I actually liked how his legs transformed, but that reminded me of why I didn't combine him that much, because of the combined mode hands often would like get super like too tight to like retract or push
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
That was so annoying. So I'm like, I don't want to bother today. I'm just gonna leave them like this because they're halfway decent anyway. My favorite though was Rapid Run. His joint tolerances were nice. He did have short thigh syndrome, but not as bad. He was still like fun to pose and fun to play with, and his like colors and like aesthetic were pretty good in my opinion. So
I think the issue with Rapid Run is it doesn't feel like he brings a whole lot to the table when he's part of the combiner mode. He's just the abdomen and then crap on the back, like obnoxious nonsense. Like his legs just hang there on the back.
like
are they a cape? Is that what they're meant to be?
I interpreted it as like a jetpack.
Okay,
right?
Okay. I can see
so
that.
he was the abs and the jetpack. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone else was doing a lot more heavy lifting. And,
at least...
it's interesting visually, but if you just kind of imagine, like, he's nothing. He's like a box that just goes in the abs, and that's it. It's like, oh.
Yeah, like at least Long Haul was Devastator's ass, right? I gotta repeat, Long Haul canonically has a dump truck ass. I just gotta... I love that fact.
Yeah, these are... I like the fact that they're trains, and we actually got them in the rest of the world rather than them just being locked to Japan. I imagine they didn't sell super well because they were trains, but at least you got them as a box set. You didn't need to buy them individually. You did in Japan. Or you could buy them as a box set in Japan. It was kind of a weird situation. Kind of unique, interesting little figures. Not perfect, though. Have some problems. Probably my preferred combiner of this set, because I'm not a big fan of Landfill, but I know you are. So, I mean, we can talk about Landfill now if you like.
Oh, sure. I just want to point out that these trains were available individually over here in the States.
Oh, were they? Oh, okay.
They were about like Voyager equivalent back then. What was it called? Mega?
Oh, probably some bullshit like that, yeah. So we have the build team, which is Grimlock, Heavy Load, Hightower, and Wedge. What's the Build King versions of the names? The Build King versions are Build Boy, Build Cyclone, Build Hurricane, and Build Typhoon. Wow, they really pegged in for their job, weren't they? They didn't really have much of a choice. So you were a big fan of these guys, right? Because I got these guys, but only as a repaint. I got them as the Devastator repaint from 2006 when I went to America. So it maybe contributed to me not liking them too much, as they were all the same color. Espouse to me the virtues of Build King.
Oh wow, where do I begin? Okay, so my favorite part, of course, are the individual bots, bot mode scale, right? The leader was just a short guy, which, I mean, the short guy didn't have to be the leader for me to like the set, but like it was interesting for him to be the short one, right? And there was two like average, like normal size guys, I suppose. And then there was just this one really big guy. This set is about 60-70% of responsible for my obsession with scale. And it was just so like satisfying to see like a combiner team that was of various sizes, that wasn't just 4 guys the same size and 1 leader that was tall, right? And like the Scramble City guys, this guy had different like limb configurations, and it wasn't like symmetrical. It was like this weird like triangular formation, and you could like switch them without decombining them, which was so weird but fun in my opinion. And it was really fun transforming them all, and I really liked how the kibble was placed, and their accessories were fun. The set was just really fun for me in general.
Okay. I will say for me, I was not a big fan of the combine mode. I appreciated what it was trying to do with the whole, like you say, it could be, you could swing them around and have like Grimlock and the red one being a leg, and then the yellow ones being the arms, or the red one could be the arms, and etc. etc. I thought that was kind of interesting to mix it up, but it never felt like to me, very sturdy. And I say that because if you look at the Grimlock version, you can see all these like hinged panels and things where you kind of you use the arms and you kind of swing them out, because he doesn't actually have a place where the shoulders go. Build Boy's arms kind of jut outwards to the side to kind of hide this fact, to try and camouflage it so it looks a bit more cohesive. I think it looked better with the yellow ones with the arms as the arms, because the arms were closer in. You didn't see all these panels and greebles hanging behind them. It just felt a little bit messy and cluttered for me personally. The individual robots, I thought for the time, were interesting. I think just proportionally, a heavy load and high tower, the red one and the yellow one, their arms are very simian. They're very, very long. Like the arms go like past their knees. That's how far down their arms go. So it gives them these odd proportions. And it goes from like big, thick shoulder, which is massive, to then very thin arm structure. The head molds, though, I think are very expressive, which was nice. And they all looked like you said, they all had a nice individual look to them. I think Build Boy might have been my favorite one, because he didn't feel too compromised. He was just a small little dude. Fairly posable, but without too much like gubbins, like messing around with his articulation or bonking into him, even though he did have the giant shovels just kind of pointing up into the air. It wasn't ever that bad, I felt. We have message from Excel Hedge. Titans class rail racer when, Hasbro? What do you think of the idea?
Exactly.
That would be neat to see.
That would be that's actually one of my top 5 wishes. My top 5 generations wishes right now is a Titan rail racer. That would be so glorious. I would adore it.
It's a really interesting idea to try and get it done. I'd be down for it, just because it'd be interesting to see, and we haven't seen something like that in years. Excel Hedge also says Potato says squat test.
Squat test.
Didn't think of that. That's from Moonshine Animations. Moonshine Animations does like squat tests. They do reviews on figures, and it's all like animated. And one of their characters called Potato, who's a little Russian girl or something like that, a little anime character figure. They always do the squat test. If a character can squat, it's good.
Oh wow, really? I didn't know about that. That's interesting. Huh.
Yeah, they've done it with a few characters, like the Tarn figure from Kurakara Kiri, but usually they stick with like Figmas and kind of those kind of figures, generally speaking.
Okay, gotcha.
It's interesting. Private Spoon says, I've literally just sold these guys. Was it these? Was it this version, or was it like one of the other versions? Because there was also not only the Decepticon Constructicon versions, there was also a just yellow version, the Walmart version, which is, they're all yellow. It's a little boring, to be honest, if they're just all yellow.
I'm trying to think how would I actually like for Hasbro to do updates to these, and I'm honestly not sure. Maybe like a deluxe, 2 Voyagers, and a leader, but would that really take up too much like important spots? I don't know. I mean,
Maybe.
I don't know.
It's a G1. No, Hasbro doesn't care as much then.
Yeah, exactly.
Got to feature the boys. What did you think of the Devastator then? Were you a fan of it? Or do you prefer the original
I have
version?
that one too. I have that one too,
Okay.
and I don't know the purpose of the Devastator. I mean, I understand like why Hasbro made it a thing. It's because it's a popular character. It's
construction vehicles, easy repaint,
and like easy repaints like that was par for the course back then.
Yeah,
so,
especially
like,
for Universe.
Yeah, so I understand in that aspect, but like from an in-universe aspect, like where's the other two members and why do they look like this like unrelated like yeah I don't know.
They were died and eaten.
It's so messy to me. Like I like maybe if like the tables were turned and if these guys were like repaints of G1 Constructicon, like the Constructicons are coming in Studio Series 86. What if these guys were repaints of them, like G1 versions of these guys, right? And there was like 2 other members like Scoop and what was the other one's name? Quick Mix as the other 2 members. Yeah. So like it would be like an Autobot version of Devastator, like a G1 Landfill.
Mm-hmm.
Except G1 Landfill is like an individual character, but like yeah, you know what I mean.
I guess what you could say, maybe the idea was did you see the original version of the Constructicons, the Japanese versions, where they're all like different colored and whatnot? There's like a blue one, a yellow one, a red one, etc., etc.
Like the pre-Transformers, like I don't know if they were Diaclone or something else.
It's something like that. Yeah, and they did it for the 6 builder, right? There was the Constructicon version of it, and then there was the 6 builder version. So maybe they were doing the reverse of like seeing Landfill as the 6 builder, whatever it was called originally for that blue Devastator. And maybe they just went, well, it's kind of like that. We'll just do the reverse of it and just put it into G1 colors. Maybe that was the idea as well.
Yeah,
I think that may be putting too much thought into it. It's probably just construction vehicles, Constructicons. That'll do.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt that they had that in mind, but yeah, it was probably just like easy repaint. Why not?
Probably. So next up we have Megatron. Woo! Obviously the interesting thing for those who had the American version, there was the extra joint in it, so you could do all 10 modes. Japanese version didn't have the extra joint in it, so it could only do 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 modes. So the American version could do all of them. The Japanese version could not. Kind of weird and interesting. And then, of course, there was the Galvatron repaint as well, or Devil Gigatron, because he was, of course, Gigatron, where he got extra modes. So the modes, for those not aware, because he is a 6 mode changer, but not as good as 6-shot, unfortunately. There's Robot mode, there's Batman car mode, there's Batman jet mode, there's Batman dragon mode, there's Batman mode, and then there's Hand Batman mode. Those are all 6 of his modes, at least the official ones.
Bat hand.
The Bat Hand, exactly. For when you've got giant and bat problems. Have you had this mold before, Orange? Because this is one of the few ones I do have. At least I have the Devil one, Devil Gigatron, Galvatron, because Mikey gave it to me.
I have both of them. Yeah, they are wonderful.
I really like them. They are not without problems and age, and I would love to see them updated, despite them having a bizarrely wacky, arguably poorly implemented alt modes. I think that's not unfair to say. I think the design has a lot of presence to it, and it's incredibly unique. Nothing else on your Transformers shelf looks like Gigatron / RID Megatron. It's got such a unique design to it, which I think is kind of nice. Do you have a favorite mode from his many modes? Because I think mine's the basic bitch one, which is the double-headed dragon mode. Very obvious, but it's very cool. Dragons are neat. 2 of them are better.
I know it sounds strange, but the weird vehicle mode, that pseudo racer tank thing,
the Batman
really
Bat car thing.
Yeah, the bat, the bat thing. Yeah.
Which do you prefer? Do you prefer the Batcar Bat mode thing, or do you prefer Master Megatron's Batcar thing? Batman Batcar thing? Because I think they're very similar visually.
Yeah, they are. I prefer this one over Cybertron. Yeah.
What do you like about this one so much? Because it doesn't, at least the toy doesn't really look like a car. Is that why you like it? What was it about this mode that you like?
I think it looks more alien than more alien than cars or tanks or whatever should look. Like it's it has like, it doesn't have like a Transformers vibe, right? But the robot mode has a Transformers vibe to me. So going from like a Transformers vibe robot mode to a not Transformers vibe alt mode seems kind of pretty interesting to me. And it seems like it has all the functionality to like a race car and a tank, because it looks kind of like aerodynamic, except it does have like weapons on the top that like turrets. I think that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I actually really like his turrets because they're swords or a double-ended lightsaber kind of deal. Which is
he could fire swords at people. What? How cool is that, right?
I'm guessing Star Wars: The Phantom Menace came out at this point, so it's probably where they got the inspiration from for the weapon, surely. Right?
Yeah.
There's no way people didn't see Darth Maul and went, fuck yeah, double lightsaber. I mean, people still like double lightsabers today, so why wouldn't you? No, for me, like I said, mine's very basic, bitch. I like dragons. 2 dragon heads are cool. I think it's not the most successful, but it does well enough. The bat mode almost kind of is cool. I think it's very silly that he has a little just bat faceplate that goes over his mouth. It's really silly.
it's a little silly.
The jet's okay. It's an interesting look again. It's got backwards wings, which is nice. I wouldn't have thought though that with the amount of color on this, it would work as well, because there's purple, black, red, purple, black, red, gold, blue, bluey teal, silver, gold, red. We got like 8 colors at least. Maybe there's more in there. Oh, 9 face. Yeah, 9 different colors on it, and it works reasonably well somehow, even with having all of this mush on him.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
It's a weird little toy, and then obviously they decided to make it stranger, at least in Japan, and like I've told you the thing, and then give him extra modes. He's got like an extra 4 modes, so he now has Batman robot mode, Batman vehicle mode, Batman jet mode, Batman dragon mode, Batman bat mode, Batman had mode. New modes are Bat boat mode, Bat elephant mode, Flying dragon bat mode, which is different from dragon mode bat mode, and then Griffin mode. That's also a bat. I really like the Griffin
boat mode. The boat mode?
Mm-hmm. It's like the car mode, just a lot worse.
I mean, if it actually did float, it would be the best to me.
It's less boat and more, what do you call them? Because there are boats that are like this, right? Where there's barely anything in the water apart from these big stilts.
Yeah.
What they're called.
I challenge Hasbro to update this mode and actually get that boat mode to float.
Now, if somebody told me like, hey, this is going to be the next HasLab, I would go, okay, that makes sense. But you got to make all the modes look really good. Because that would be hard. And that would be like, I get why it has to be a HasLab exclusive. That would make sense.
By really good.
Well.
Do you mean accurate or
let's say
sacrifice accuracy for actually aesthetically good looking?
Let's say reasonably accurate for specific modes. Right? Because there are some that you can make accurate, like the bat mode and the dragon mode. And the hand mode, I accept you probably need to finagle. The car mode, you probably need to finagle. There are certain modes that I would be like, this is okay for you to just kind of wishy-washy mess around with and be like, that's close enough. But I think you need to hit the key ones to look really good, especially the dragon mode.
I think that elephant mode could use a little bit more work.
If somebody said, hey, the elephant mode still looks shit, I would be like, fair enough.
I mean, it was a good idea to make that like the ears because the wings, and like the trunk. And I think it's neat to make the sword cannons like tusks, right? That's neat, but
it doesn't work.
Still looks.
It looks like your 3-year-old that's gone through your closet and tried to mishmash parts of your wardrobe to make an elephant. It's like, oh, you've tried. I get it.
I mean, I think they were onto something, but like the proportions of the figure just didn't work out in their favor.
No. The flying dragon mode, I don't like. It's just the bat mode, but they've whipped up the tail. It's like, okay, that's kind of half-assed. I like the griffin mode. The griffin mode's fairly basic, but again, I think it pulls it off well enough. It's one of my more like the double-headed dragon, the griffin mode. I like those ones. I actually like the color scheme on the Galvatron quite a lot. Which is your favorite color scheme? So the like hand. Oh yeah, what do you want to say about the hand?
The novelty of that is not going away. I think it's like a hand mode that corny is just so timeless to me.
It is one of those things where you think, why? Who came up with the idea? Yeah, let's have him turn into a hand. Why? I don't know. He can. Can he combine with anything? No. He's just a floating hand.
I hope that a future version of Fort Max can actually accept him as a hand.
God, he'd have to be so big.
That was on like one of the episodes, right? Where he became
that's right, yeah.
Brave Max. Yeah. So that actually has precedent in the anime.
The problem is, if this is like in scale, he'd have to the Fort Max would have to be so ridiculously large.
I have no problem with that, sir.
You will do when it costs well over 1,000. Think how big Unicron was. And how much Unicron was.
I'm thinking like 3,000, close to it. So yeah, I will have to sell a body part for that. Yeah, but
that would be too much. That's just too crazy. You crazy, Orange.
I am. I have been told that before. Yeah. So. Hand mode would be cool if it had that functionality, but scale would be off the charts.
It would be. Big D says, great figure. Would love to see him get an update. Very glad I've still got him. And the boat was called a hydrofoil. Thank you, Big D. That's right.
Okay. Yeah. As for the color scheme that I like the original one, the purple and black. I really dig that.
I like both of them. I don't know which I like more. Like, the Devil Gigatron's got such a presence with the gold and the white. You don't really see a villain character just white and black generally, because white's more of a heroic color. It's an interesting look. I like both of them. I need to get the standard color scheme one at some point in the future. Of course, this was done into Deathsaurus in 2005, which was weird to say the least. Did you ever see that version of him? The BotCon version?
I didn't. I never saw it in person. It looks good though. It looks good.
Is it weird that he has like a beard?
No, I kind of like. I mean, that beard is
it's weird, right?
A beard, yeah.
It's a biker beard.
I really dig the chests on this mold, like the two colors and how it's blended together. I really like that.
Yeah, it's a really fun mold. And I don't think we're not gonna get this in the future. If they've given us like RID Prime for HasLab, there's no way they're not gonna give us RID Megatron, right?
Right. But the problem is, how are they gonna do the repaints? Like, they already wrote themselves into a corner with like the yellow Optimus Prime, the repaint of RID. You remember that one? If they're going to do this Megatron into a HasLab, which it's probably headed that way, how are they going to do Gigatron or Devil Gigatron?
Which one do you do? Do you do Giga or standard? Which one do you do?
I mean, they're going to do standard, but They expressed interest in the repaints of the Optimus Prime and the Ultra Magnus, but how are they gonna
Yeah,
do that?
is that okay for them to do? Because that seems a bit weird, right? When you've crowdfunded your figure, it should be a unique thing. So is it okay for them to do a repaint of it? It seems kind of scummy. Well, I guess it depends how they release it, right?
I mean, it would be different, right? If as long as it's different enough, then I think the original would still have a reasonable amount of exclusivity feel to it.
True.
But how would they do? Like, would they do like an on demand, made on demand sort of thing?
Oh, kind of like what they did with Dragon Man for Marvel. I could see that. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we talked about him. Fire Convoy, the Optimus Prime. I have this. It's an interesting figure. It's almost really good. I think the problem is his super mode, but we'll get to it. So he has a robot mode, a standard robot mode. He has a vehicle mode. He has giant shoulder pads which can attach to his shoulder, which are very awkward but look neat. He also has the parts to make the super mode, which you can either add prior and have him just have giant fists, excuse me, if you really want to, or shoulder pads if you really want to. You don't have to put him into full super fire mode if you don't want to. It's this in-betweeny stage. He has a base mode, which is crap. And then he has the Super Fire Convoy mode as well. And as Orange mentioned, there are a couple of versions of this mold. There's the Fire Convoy. There's the clear version of the figure. There's the Lucky Draw version of the figure, which is black and gold and red. There is the American version. There is the American version, which is yellow, which I think was KB Toys or something like that. Or something. It was a weird one. It was a weird exclusive. Oh, and there was a Costco version. So there was that as well.
Yeah, the Costco was the yellow one, I believe.
They've got it down here as it's just another re-release of that one. Yeah, I don't know. There is a yellow one though. I'm not sure it says how it was released here.
Huh? I could.
Oh no, it says Sam's Club. The yellow one's the Sam's Club exclusive.
Oh, Sam's Club. Yeah, I get Sam's Club and Costco mixed up all the time.
Aren't they? Are they both gone now?
They're not. Last time I heard, they're both still
both gone. Oh, I thought they both died. Oh well, fair enough. Go guys. So my issues specifically with the super mode, because it looks really cool. Don't get me wrong. I think the super mode looks fucking amazing. The problem is how you get him to super mode, and it's primarily you extend the chest from the waist, and it's on this bendy joint. And then you clip over the pieces over the top of the head to kind of cover it up. I don't think it works desperately well. It doesn't look very secure and stable. He's got that, if you pick him up and shake him like a baby, he feels like he's just going to fly apart, unfortunately.
Shake him like a baby.
Yeah, shake him like a baby. You shouldn't do that.
As you do, yeah. Okay.
Are you saying you should shake babies?
No.
Interesting.
Nope.
Interesting.
Nope.
Okay, well, each to their own. Maybe that's an American thing. I don't know. But yeah, like I say, doesn't feel super secure, even though he looks really cool. He's also got like missiles that pop up from his ladder, which is kind of a neat feature. Yeah, I really like how he looks visually. I just don't like how he handles in the super mode. Orange, what do you think of the Super Fire Ultra Magnus Ultra Optimus Prime Fire Guts super mode convoy?
Meh. I mean,
you don't like him.
He's cool and like he's.
Why do you hate him?
I don't hate him. I do not hate him. He is. I'm sort of apathetic to I don't hate him. I don't like him. He's just fine. I do dig what they actually done to him in HasLab, but like the original toy is just.
So what is it about the toy that you don't like exactly? Is it the super mode? Is it the standard mode? And what is it about them?
You pointed out the like extended waist thing, and that makes it really clunky to play with. Like you're.
Yeah.
And like they fixed that in the HasLab thing. They made use of his backpack to like transform around his like super mode, so he don't collapse in.
Yeah, so he still has that feature of like extending, but then you've got pieces which will support that, which is good.
Yeah, exactly. So he should be a lot more stable in the HasLab version. So maybe he'll be a lot more bearable to handle now.
Is it literally just the hand feel that you don't like about it, or is it like the look as well? Because for me, I think that's primarily my issue. I wish it handled better.
The look is really not Optimus-y to me. Like
if they done it,
if they done it as a different character, then that would be cool. Like I would have loved to like leaving like G2 just with like a clean slate and no Optimus Prime. Like just have different characters as the leaders, but like they had to stick with Optimus Prime because the movie traumatized so many people by killing him off, and they felt like they had to keep Optimus Prime around to keep the entire franchise around, even though that G1 died anyway.
To be fair, I don't think it was that bad because we had a long period with no Optimus Prime because it'd been a long time since G1 had ended. And we only got a glimpse of Optimus Prime in Beast Wars, right? So between then and now, this was the first Optimus Prime we'd had in ages. So I didn't mind, right?
G2
happened before Beast Wars, though.
Yeah, G2 had Optimus Prime.
And also G2 is just like a compilation of G1 episodes, from what I remember.
Oh, you were including it in G1. Well, yeah. But I mean, they named the guy Optimus Primal, and they had like a Megatron. But I know it wasn't the same characters. But like, why were they named the same? Like, I don't know. It left a bad taste in my mouth. And then this guy, like, name him like something like Supertron or something. I don't know. And
Supertron.
I think he would have been a lot cooler as a different character, but that's just me being a dork, I guess. But the toy itself was okay, but had some flaws that were really detrimental to it, in my opinion. I really like the super extendo ladder in alt mode though, which was really cool. But the alt mode was again very, very unyieldy because it just kept on falling apart when you done anything with it.
Yeah. I also like it visually just because you said it's very un-Optimus Prime-y. It's way more of a Brave design, which is nice. I think we were coming off of Brave mostly at this point in Japan, and it was obviously designed in Japan. So it has that kind of nice element, which I liked as well, especially in the super mode.
Yeah, it does look good like that.
Yeah. So I like it. I just wish it was better. And I'm assuming the new one will be better when it comes out eventually. It's next year? Yeah, it'll have to be next year. It's not this year. Jesus.
Yeah, like January, February, somewhere around in there. I expect it. Yeah, and then the next HasLab will,
Who knows? Well, it'll be announced next year, I guess. XL Hedge says, Yellow was a Sam's Club exclusive, Walmart's version of Costco. Funnily enough, the Ultra Magnus for it still had combination parts in red. Yes, Andy, both Sam's Club and Costco are still around. Oh, there we go. They're not dead. Next up we have... Oh, I don't have Ultra Magnus. I guess we can talk about Ultra Magnus. That'd be a good idea. Talk about Ultra Magnus. Because I haven't had Ultra Magnus. So I don't hear great things about Ultra Magnus, generally speaking. His legs apparently... Well, I mean, just proportionally. He has very baby chest, and then very baby groin, and then all of the legs. He is... like 70% leg, it seems like, give or take, or more.
That is not an exaggeration. He is, yes.
Yes, they try and hide the fact that he's not leg, but I mean, his thighs are very tiny, as we talked about earlier. You did mention this about his thighs being absolutely baby, but they try and hide the fact that this is like his chest and thighs are one section, and then the big gray square is like, oh, that's the thigh, right? No. So it tries to visually trick you, and I think this is obviously because his vehicle mode. He's mostly an empty trailer. So they've tried to hide a lot of stuff as best they can. So, Orange, if you've had this figure, which I assume you have, what can you tell me about Ultra Magnus?
He was a lot more fun than Optimus Prime, in my opinion. Of course, the leg problem I already covered, but his alt mode was really fun because, car carrier and everything.
Functional, right?
It was functional. It was, it had the whole like alien looking aesthetic in alt mode where it's like it doesn't really look like an Earth truck, except it could be interpreted as like a futuristic Earth truck or like an alternate universe, something like that, right? Which it probably is, sure, but it had an interesting aesthetic. I like the like not what was it called, chrome or like vac metal, the shiny bits.
Oh yeah, vac
I really
metal.
like that. Yeah, and like his transformation was sort of parts for me from what I can remember, but overall he was pretty fun, I'd say. Yeah.
And then they combined together to form Omega Prime. Have you fiddled with Omega Prime? I imagine from the images, he's clearly working off of Super Optimus Prime, a Super Fire Optimus Prime. So I imagine he's as wonky and wobbly, if not more so than just his Super Fire mode anyway, if you're combining him with Ultra Magnus on top of the kind of wobbliness, right?
Yeah, that is correct. He had the same issues. I mean, it felt a lot better with Ultra Magnus sort of he could support the weight and all, which is good. His legs and arms were a lot more solid than regular Optimus Prime Super Mode or whatever. And his like chrome parts were just like there and like on display, and then it looked really cool. His aesthetic was a lot better. But this mode again has like super short thighs, just because the normal sized Optimus thighs are like in proportion like really small because Optimus is
yeah,
that's neither here nor there. Yeah.
Well, have you seen the attack mode image that they've got on the side?
Wait, attack mode. Let me see.
It's quite unwieldy, I would say.
The blue bolts thing. Yeah, that is pretty wonky. Yeah.
Yeah, ladder on one arm, giant gun on the other, the fist hands on the back of the wings. I guess he can use everything he comes with, but I'm not sure you want him to.
This is the I can't see shit mode.
Yeah. I can barely stand in my shelf. This is I don't want shelf space. No one stand near me, please. So I can't say I love this. I think the new one coming out is doing a much better job of getting a better proportioned looking Omega Prime. I prefer Megatron over this by quite a lot, to be honest. We'll move on quickly. Brave Max. What if Fort Max had less things? Accessories, I mean. Like 90% of them seem to be gone, seemingly. With a fairly interesting color scheme.
Oh, he doesn't have a cog.
He does or doesn't?
Wait, he doesn't? I don't see one.
No, he comes with a gun and a dish, and that is it. He comes with next to nothing. It's shocking. I do really like the color scheme on him. The best bit about him is the fact that in city mode, all of the you've got faux windows painted in it, which makes it look really like it's meant to be a building. It conveys the city way better than Fort Max does, I think. The color scheme's maybe not crazy, like out there where you're like, wow, it's so vibrant and different compared to standard Fort Max. But I think it's interesting enough. Do you like it, Mr. Orange?
I don't think it's bad. I think it's matches the aesthetic to the rest of the line, like Optimus and Ultra Magnus and all, which is fine. I really like how they handled the quote unquote city mode, even though it looks like a city block at most. But there's only so much you could do with that. It looks nice. The lack of accessories is disappointing. I'm an accessory guy. What can I say?
Yeah, I mean, you were spending a lot of money on this figure, and you were basically getting screwed out of most of his accessories, which is kind of shitty.
I mean, for the record, I did not buy this, so I did not get screwed out of money. But yeah, I can I feel for the people that did.
I think people who wanted it got it. I think if I had seen it when it originally came out, I would have got it because there was no Fort Max at the time, or no way to get a Fort Max. So I probably would have wanted it back then. Luckily, I was able to get an OG Fort Max much later on when I started getting back into collecting, thankfully, which I was happy about. So I've left what I would consider the best to last. We are talking about Scourge, which you might say, but Andy, that's just a simple repaint. And I'd be like, yes, but it is a repaint of an arguably one of the best Transformers, very similar to Smoke Jumper. I think this mold is fantastic. It holds up really well, and they gave it a really cool color scheme as well. And the character wasn't too bad in the show either.
I completely agree. I love him. I love him. He worked.
My only fault with it is the trailer still doesn't do shit. The trailer opens up to this really crappy base mode. And I don't think anyone can convince me that this base mode is cool. It's crap.
It certainly existed. Yeah.
It does, yeah, that's true.
I think the legacy version of this base mode works a lot better just because it's like modular. You could just stick weaponizers on it and it's like 10 times better now. Whereas this is just, you get what you see.
I would agree with that, but I would say I think the robot is a lot better than the legacy version.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is sad to say.
The legacy version away.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to. The legacy version's supposed to be an improvement, but it's not.
Yeah, it's somehow a downgrade.
Mm-hmm.
I hate the fact that his shoulders don't move in that legacy version. I'll never let that go. I really like this figure a lot. It's big, it's chunky. It's got, for the time period, like amazing articulation. Waist joint, head joint that swivels, shoulders that swivel, arms that move out, arms that bend, arms that have a bicep swivel. Legs are on ratchet joints and move forwards and to the side. He can do a Van Damme split. They've got a 90-degree knee bend. I don't think they've got a joint to let you twist the legs, though. Do they, or is it in the knee? Does the knee have a swivel joint in it?
I don't think it does.
I don't think it does, but it's like missing that, and obviously an ankle swivel and tilt. But really, that would be all it needs. Maybe a wrist swivel as well. This is a really good figure. Really, really fucking good.
Okay, see if you could agree with me. The main problem I have, not the one problem, the main problem I have with the updated, the legacy version is it's really the entire mold. Its head is set further back from the shoulders.
Yeah, well, there's
and every
that too.
time a figure, every time a figure has that, it just looks really wonky and disproportionate. Like the Skids mold, not specifically the Skids version of the mold, the
Shadow Striker,
the crankcase.
Okay.
Yeah, legacy crankcase. How his shoulders are set way further up than his head.
Yeah,
it just looks weird. And the Laser Prime mold, legacy Laser Prime mold, has a worse case than that. And I think that the designers can do a lot better than that, in my opinion.
Oh, I would agree. I think the problem was they were tweaking the Earthrise mold rather than making a new mold. So they were trying to save money.
Yep.
And it came out worse. And this figure has had a couple of repaints. Obviously, it was used, as Laser Prime back in 1995. Then it was used for Black Convoy of Scourge. Then it was used for the G2 Battle Convoy, which is the laser convoy just in Japan. It got a Ultra Magnus repaint, which I always wanted but never got, and then it vanished. And then the worst version of the toy by a country mile, the Year of the Goat, mostly translucent, clear translucent plastic version of this figure. It's crap. I hate this.
It in fact was not the goat.
No, it really wasn't. What do you think of the Ultra Magnus one? Because I really like the Ultra Magnus one. I think it's really cool.
I mean,
I really like
it. It's pretty, I guess.
That's
I
what,
didn't own it.
That's why I like it, because I think it's pretty. I like the colors on it.
Yeah, it is.
It's not Gold Ultra Magnus, don't get me wrong. And I think it would have been better if the trailer had more stuff to it. You know what they should have done for a repaint? Fucking Toxitron.
Yes, absolutely.
For the Year of the Goat, they did the shitty translucent version. Where was the Toxitron? Could have done that. I would have been really interested in it, obviously. There you go.
Yeah.
Excel Hedge says, as someone who fought for the legacy mold, I guess he means who has 4 of the legacy mold, I disagree. The legacy figure is good. Y'all just hating. Sticky out tongue face. I
am definitely hating. Yeah. I have. Wait, how many versions of that do I have? 1, 2, 3. Let's see. I have Laser Prime. I have Scourge and Toxitron. I don't think I have any more than that. No, just 3. I mean, I have 3 of them all that I
you don't like.
That I don't like particularly, but what are you gonna do? You know?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. I've got a lot of issues with that figure personally, but that's what we'll end the show. That was RID. We got through most of them. I think we might have missed 1 or 2, but for the most part, we hit them all. Thank you, Orange, for coming on by and talking with me about RID.
Yeah, no problem.
Where can people find you on the internet if they want to find you?
Yeah, I'm honestly mainly on Discord anymore. Keshmar Orange, KESHMAR, and orange is in the color. I'm on Twitch as Orange-itis. Just like how you spell inflammation of the orange.
Nice. That it?
Yeah, that's it.
Nice. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube as Decade Andy. We're on the Moonbase 2 forums, Twitter, Twitch, and iTunes, as well as Moonbase 2. Or you can put in Moonbase 2 Transformers Podcast for YouTube. And if you want to join us here on a Sunday at 8 o'clock in the evening, you can join the lovely people who have done that tonight. Or you can just, watch us as a backlog in the future or listen to the podcast. We're also on the ccbunker.weebly.com as well if you want to get us that way. As I say, thank you for coming on today, Orange. We'll be back next week, probably with news. There was nothing this week. There was absolutely nothing shown on Transformers Day, which I don't even know why they built it up as a thing. Are we meant to have something between now and next week? Do you know?
I don't think so, to be honest. I think it's just going to be barren until.
When did they say they're revealing Devastator? Was that next month or further on?
Late next month, I think the 27th, they said, possibly.
Oh, right. Okay, damn.
Correct me if I'm wrong, someone.
Okay, so it's still a while away before probably getting a big drop of figures. I think someone made the assumption that it won't be till like New York Comic Con where we get a load of new figures shown, I guess.
Oh, that's in
January,
winter, isn't
right?
it?
Yeah, January. Wow. I think it's like next year, February time.
That'll be around the time that the first Constructicons release, isn't it? So I doubt it's going to be that late. No.
Yeah, I hope not, because man, it's a lot. It's like 4 months before that happens. So hopefully they'll show something before then.
Yeah, they always show stuff. Not always, but they usually show stuff off like 3-4 months in advance. So.
There's probably like some stupid Hasbro video Transformers Day Tuesday thing for YouTube coming out at some point. There must be.
Yeah, and I heard that they're going to release some sort of content for the HasLab, maybe like an unboxing or something, or a boxing reveal, something like that. So
yeah, okay, yeah.
Hopefully, we'll see something like that.
Yeah, cool. It'd be nice if some of that's revealed next week, but if not, we'll figure out something to do. We still got to cover Beast Machines, but you haven't had the Beast Machines line, have you, Orange?
Most of them, no.
No, okay. I'll need to figure out someone to kind of handhold me through most of that line, because I got some of them, but I don't have most of them because I didn't like the look of most of them. Which is probably why you didn't get them as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks guys for coming on by. We'll see you next week for more Moonbase 2, and until then, we'll catch you guys later.
Bye. Take care.